Oh, okay. They feel kind of warm.
Your big foots.
My big feet.
I have the biggest feet, I think. They're probably bigger than Andrew's
What size
feet.
are your feet?
A women's 11.
Really?
Wide.
Oh, girth.
They are thick.
I am a women's 6.
Now, what is your men's size?
My men's size is 11, I think.
So then yours are
I
slightly
don't-
bigger than mine.
I don't have big boy feet.
Big buff feet.
I mean, I think that's average.
You guys want to do a show where we do scary stories?
I thought we were talking about feet.
Oh, okay.
I thought
Just
this
kidding.
was this isn't the foot podcast.
We'll go back to footy itches.
Footy itches.
Let's play the theme song. Oh, it's real quiet. Yes, that's right, folks. In one of the best intros you've heard ever.
No, it's so good.
It is Scary Itches episode 6? Question mark?
Six.
Today we have a special fucking guest. You know her, you love her, you've seen her art in the Facebook and the Instagram posts every time when we post an episode. We have Steph here.
It's me. Hi, guys.
Yeah. You can see her work when we post it. But Steph's been doing all the artwork. It's very cool. I like them very much. They're very nice.
It's an honor.
Technically, I get most of the credit though because I put the logo and the name of the episode on it after you're finished. So
Scrub.
Wow.
ultimately, I do the majority of the work
Jeez.
for the art. And so I'm
Okay.
taking full
Thank
credit
Yeah,
for
I
it.
can't computer, so thanks, Steph.
All right, cool. Well, Jesus, what the fuck's
I'm
been
Amanda.
going on? Yo, hi, Amanda.
Not Jesus.
Hi, Amanda. Wow.
I thought you were just introducing yourself. I'm like, you don't have to do that every episode.
No, you said, oh, Jesus.
Oh,
And I said,
Jesus.
"It's not
Well, you do look.
Jesus,
You look
it's
very
Amanda."
much
That
alike.
joke on fleek.
I'm Liz.
I'm Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Hey.
I'm Liz. Liz.
I'm doing. So it's the new moon. Assholes.
New moon.
Are we all excited about that?
Yeah.
We getting our intentions set? Are we ready to renew?
I am set,
Refresh.
girl.
Yeah, my intentions, the temptations, I've curtailed them. I don't know. So we're doing a little self-care in honor of the new moon. There's no more mercury in the Gatorade. Everyone's lives are getting better.
My life is getting really good.
Yeah, your life is
Yeah.
really good.
Libras are rising. What's going on with your life that's making it good?
So,
Okay.
Let me tell you.
so last week I talked about how PJ and I were going to meet with
Your wife, PJ, yes?
Yeah, my wife, PJ.
My wife.
We're going to meet with
That's a joke.
a mortgage woman. Yes, it's definitely a
If-
joke.
yes,
He's just
yes.
a feminine man.
And I mistakenly said, if you're jumping in on this episode, I mistakenly referred to PJ as Amanda's wife. Continue.
Which doesn't matter.
Yes,
It's
doesn't matter.
fine.
Just a
So we met with a mortgage person the day after we recorded last week.
money people. Blah. Money. But were they cool? Was it a cool mortgage person?
It was cool. I mean, I was expecting her to be like, wow, you guys are fucked. But that's
Yeah, you
not
said
what she
that.
said at all.
And
And
like, wow, you guys are not fucked.
yeah, she was
Great
like, you're
position to
not
buy a
fucked.
house.
Yeah. And so we went camping like 2 days after that. And I was talking to my friend who's a realtor. We ended up looking at a house while we were on our camping trip, like came
I
back
like,
in
I
town.
like how it's like you're doing the exact opposite
Trying
of
to
like
be
living in a
patient,
house.
relax.
Like you're living in a tent and now you're
Yeah.
We need a house, man, real bad.
Please. I'm
Hey,
in a
if-
tent right now.
If I had to stay in a house for a little while to get, if I had to stay in a tent to get a house,
Yeah, sure.
maybe.
I'm fucking do it.
Sure.
Yeah. So you went to go see you went to go see a house. You went
Yep.
to the mortgage talkie person, realtors,
Yep.
realtor.
I'm here to see the mortgage really talking person.
yeah, that's the one.
Please
Ma'am,
help.
please
Footy,
leave.
Footy Ryan. So what did they say?
So we looked at this house, and PJ and I both really loved it. It's a very old house, 1875, and we're both big history nerds. So
Fingers crossed it's haunted.
And it was like everything we wanted. Like
Oh, hell
first
yeah.
house we looked at was like literally everything we were looking for in the price range.
Like a
In the
mile
place.
from your
That's
current
insane.
Yeah,
home.
and it's so cool. So we put in an offer. They countered back an offer.
And you're like,
We put in
"Fuck you
another
guys."
offer. Yeah, and they were like, okay.
Oh,
There's a lot of-
yeah.
Yeah.
You could say there's a lot of hustle and bustle.
There was a lot of hustle and bustle
Going on.
This whole camping trip was like refreshing my email every time because everything's electronic now.
Yeah.
So you can sign everything electronically. It's
Isn't
so
that
funny.
crazy? Yeah.
It's like
Crazy.
click here and has your name, and it's like
Yep.
Amanda, click here.
Like it's all it
So I
takes.
click, and then it's like a nice like computerized signature. Like obviously they don't know mine, but it's just
Yeah.
like some I don't know.
Oh, like auto generates just like a
Yeah.
fake one.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. So then you just like click on it and you fucking send it over.
Boom.
And then you have a house.
You have a goddamn whole house.
The
So
house disappeared.
we're getting the inspection done in August.
Which I was saying
Cool.
to Andrew, that's all downhill from here. You have a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
have
unless
to
something is like
close.
seriously fucked with
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I had to clarify. I was thinking about this. Downhill meaning like you're coasting downhill. It's
Yeah,
easy.
coast-
Yeah, like the
But,
worst
like-
is over.
But we also say, oh, it's all downhill. Like it's a bad thing. It's like I
Right.
think it's just because it's the word down that
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
colloquially we've just been like, oh, down bad.
and
So,
I think
like,
I'm just one of those people that this whole time I'm gonna be like, fuck, something bad could
Yeah.
happen. Something bad could happen.
Oh yeah.
And
it's gonna be a real nice stressful month for you.
right. And
Probably,
I think
yeah.
until I get that motherfucking key in my hand
Yes.
and I
Oh, yeah.
open that door,
Hell yeah.
I don't-
then I'm finally gonna be like not worried
See,
anymore.
you're gonna be stressed out about all that. I'm gonna be stressed out thinking about moving you into the new house.
I'm excited.
I'm sorry in advance, guys,
Yeah,
because you're all helping.
I kind of enjoy helping people move. Just being,
Not you,
when-
Andrew.
Yeah, you haven't done it though.
not that specific place, but like I don't know. I've always been the guy when like oh get a couple guys help me move, you know, and
Yeah.
I've been that guy a lot. And there's I don't know, it's kind of fun. So like, you just like
It
you
is.
and
There is a
another-
funness to it.
you and
Yeah.
another person
You're
just
in the
lifting
shit.
a fucking couch or some shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Dude,
And
but it's like
Amanda's mom bought pizza.
she did. She will
That's
supply
so
the
cute.
food for
Yeah.
everybody.
What's your pizza of choice?
Usually she gets pepperoni because she and I usually
I
get
meant,
it
like-
too because.
Okay.
But if I had a preference, okay, it would either be, and these are totally polar opposites. Would be like a spinach and like a white spinach pizza,
Oh,
like
fuck
no
me up.
sauce,
Hell yeah.
with like
I love that.
mushrooms. Oh,
Oh my God,
that'd be
yes.
rough for me. I
No,
don't like
that'd be so
mushrooms.
delicious.
or a meat lovers.
Really?
It's like
Yeah.
I
Who
either
is she?
want meat sweats
yeah.
or
Dr.
like.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Clean out your
I-
insides.
But like
Honestly, I
PJ
fully
can't
agree.
have, yeah, PJ can't have, he keeps kosher, so
Oh, he does, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm not getting the meat lovers.
yeah.
Yeah.
One time I did. He was like, "Oh, what kind of pizza you get?"
Oh,
And I was like,
no.
"Oh, I got meat lovers." He was like, "What the fuck, Amanda?"
Ask if you're okay, and you're not okay.
Yeah.
So I'll never do that
Really
again.
not.
So I've really come to love just cheese because then I'm like, fuck
I'm
it.
getting into just cheese.
What about Riley?
Yeah.
You know,
Dude, if you get
Is
a
Riley
good
Riley is
cheese
also a
pizza,
cheeser.
Yeah.
You get a good cheese pizza,
Oh,
and
it doesn't
life
matter.
is perfect.
And
Yeah.
sometimes if
when
it's
you get the crust and it's just like,
oh,
and like just the right amount of grease.
guys,
Yeah,
I
they're-
I just want to order a pizza.
there's some places that are like made to order, and they're like, if you get just cheese, they're like, I'm loading that shit up. Like,
Oh,
you get
hell
like
yeah.
double cheese because it's just cheese. And
but
Oh,
if I
yeah.
get a pizza
yeah.
and I ask for extra cheese and there's like two little like
If I see
Bullshit.
sauce, I'm returning it.
yeah.
yeah, if I see fucking sauce, it's over.
And I haven't asked for extra cheese on a pizza because I actually almost died once because I asked for extra cheese, and like sometimes when you eat mozzarella and it gets super stringy and then it's in your
and you're
mouth,
like
and
choking.
it's like
Attached?
half down your
Oh,
throat and half
no.
in my mouth, and I
Yeah.
was just like.
That happened to me once at like Ponderosa.
Like I
It's like a
actually
horror
panicked.
movie.
I actually straight up panicked because I thought I was.
I've
gonna
been
die.
there as a kid.
Oh, that's
Mod
scary. Yeah,
sticks got me
absolutely.
every
Yeah.
time.
Not
Yeah.
sticks. Oh God.
I think I've told the story on this show. I don't remember, but it was I choked on a popcorn kernel in the,
Yep.
in the movie theater.
Yeah, you
Same
never
why you
kind
don't
of
like
thing.
popcorn
I
again.
can't
Oh my
eat
God.
popcorn ever again.
Yeah, and so I can't if it's too cheesy, I freak out. Like I
That is
start to
scary.
kind of get like
Too
You have to cut it with a
cheesy.
fork and
Yep.
knife.
Fork and knife.
fork and knife.
Oh,
That's
cool.
a
I don't
fork
fork and knife it. I fold it.
We're also
Yeah.
doing a little bit of self care.
Yeah.
Talking about pizza.
Oh,
Talking
yeah.
about pizza.
Speaking of pizza, so
my feet.
speaking of
Liz's feet.
let's talk about my foot
Liz's
cheese.
cheesy, saucy feet.
So in honor of the new
Parmesan.
moon, I was like, dude, that's what was coming off of my feet though. That's why I'm doing this because it was straight foot Parmesan cheese going off my feet.
Oh, this is
So-
scarier than any other story
So
we've told.
those of you who don't know me, I like to go barefoot when I shouldn't, and because of that, I have actual like calluses for feet. I don't have like skin anymore. It's all callus.
I like old man shoes.
So what I'm wearing on my feet currently are little booties. I got a foot peel from Ulta Beauty because I had a
love that
rough
place.
day on Tuesday.
Oh, girl.
And your girl was feeling sad.
Deserve
so
it. You
not only
deserve
was
it.
lipstick buy one get one free.
Oh shit!
but
really?
I also
all of it.
all the lipstick bitch was bought. No,
wish I
actually, it was
knew.
only select
okay.
select things
Damn.
from. But luckily, I got yeah, and they're great. So also, I was like, you
Then
know
you
what?
can get one that you like, and then get
Yeah.
a bonus one that's a little experimental. You just want to try it
Oh my
out.
God,
maybe it's
yeah.
like maybe it's like a bright pink,
I
and
got
you're
like
like, I don't know if I could do that, but you get it for free. It's risk
That
free.
is I was staring at the boxes of like buy one get one free lipstick, and that's the exact thought that went through my head while I was
You
like
can't lose.
weepy eyed holding my foot peel box. and looking at the lipstick.
Oh,
But I was
pizza.
like, you know what? New moon, new me. So I'm gonna sloth off all the dead skin on
I'm gonna
my
shed
feet.
my skin.
Cool.
And like the snake
with
that
it.
I am, I'm going to
Molt.
Become
birth
anew.
myself. I am a lizard.
Yes.
Lizard.
Now, and finally, Steph, are you having a good time recently?
I'm having a great day.
You're having a really good day.
I woke up and then I
You
didn't
woke
wake
up,
up.
I'm glad.
Oh,
I
God.
did,
Glad.
and that's the end of the story.
That's awesome.
No, I slept until like 10:30.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
After seeing my best friend from Buffalo last night, which
Nice.
was really, really fun.
Cool.
And
Hell
then
yeah.
I walked downtown for a little bit and I
Nice.
got a sandwich from Bagel Pit, which is a local
Yeah.
sandwich
Fuck me up.
shop, and it was delicious.
Shout out to the bagel pit.
And
Very
then
good.
I walked to the co-op, and then I sat outside in the parklet, and I ate my sandwich, and then I had a really fun conversation with Hallie.
Haley.
Haley. She was so sweet and so nice. She sat with me for my lunch. It was so
Nice.
cute.
Very nice lady, yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was just
Oh,
a good
I
day.
love Haley.
And then we
Very
got
good.
Ben and Jerry's for later, and
Yeah,
I'm so
Ben and
excited.
Jerry's,
Did
yeah.
you get the core?
No, he gets
I
the
did.
core.
I
Andrew
did
gets the
Dude.
core.
Sometimes
The
core
caramel or the
disappoints me.
peanut butter, dude?
Dude, I love
Cookie.
the
I think it was
core.
cookie.
Dude, I will fuck up
I
the
can
core.
I'll get peanut butter too.
You know what I like?
fucking-
The caramel one is
eat
fucking-
around the core, and then I just
Yes,
eat
Yes,
at the
that's what
core.
I do
Just
too.
cook
Yeah.
it.
It's so fucking weird. It's just
Sometimes
like
it's like too much, and I'm like eating the fudge. I'm just like,
Oh, you're like a dog with peanut butter in his
yeah,
mouth.
like it's just too much fudge. But I love it.
Dude, that's the
much fudge.
exact thing
No
that
such
I
thing.
do.
So you guys want to start getting scary? Other
Yes.
than talking about my
Oh,
footsies?
yeah.
This
I
motherfucker.
might cry.
Which
going.
means
What does it mean? Say it quickly. Oh no! Ever since that last fucking episode where Liz is like, all I can think of is keyboard cat. Like, that's all I can think of is this little cute little arms. Rest in peace, kid.
rip
Yeah,
Keyboard
rip.
cat. Man, he said all you can think of.
is that in exactly 3 months is fucking Halloween.
I know.
Hell yeah.
So the
Because I'm over this sweat and titties and shit.
I don't know. I don't want it to. I love the cool weather, but while Liz is shuffling up the tarot.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna give them to Steph.
Okay,
For
Steph,
me,
yeah,
I
let's
actually
do
have.
this.
I have one really random story.
Okay, hold on though.
What?
We
Bitch,
just
God.
as a little teaser of it might not happen.
Does this mean something because it fell out?
Yes.
Us
I knew it.
us itches here might be planning a trip.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Too trippy.
Yeah. We might be planning a little trippy trip to Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is not too far away from our base of our headquarters.
It's
here.
not, really.
From
It's really not.
from Scary Itch Central headquarters.
Yeah. I'm very lucky.
It's like the big festival they do every year. Salem's where all the witch stuff happened. If you're not
Yes.
familiar, look it up. It's very interesting. There's going to be celebrity guests, including Cassandra Peterson, also known as Elvira, Mistress of the
I'm-
Dark.
The love of your
Dude,
I
life.
have you know what, Elvira, she's one of those, she's known as a sex symbol, and she's really silly and goofy about it. It's
Yeah.
really funny, but Cassandra Peterson, she's an extremely talented person. She's
yeah.
I love
she
her.
played the character, and then she's like, fuck it, I'm making this real. And
Oh,
she,
yeah.
she's written I think she wrote most of there's a comics, and she wrote for the character. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm the
Yeah.
character, fuck it, I know the character.
I
know
think
the
pretty
character
much she
best.
just
That's
lives
so
as
nice.
Elvira.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
imagine
I
her
would.
doing.
That's
yeah,
what I-
right.
Yeah.
I remember when I first I missed the boat on Elvira. I never saw Elvira on TV. I never saw any of the
child.
movie marathons. I know I'm a little baby, but I remember I jumped back into I saw it. I was like, who the fuck is Elvira? And I was like, this is really cool. And there's so much lore to it. She has a movie.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just
She's so great.
badass
She's
bitch. You know what
amazing.
I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
It's
Dude,
it's inspiring.
I swear to God, if we meet Elvira,
I'll
I
piss
will
myself.
cry.
I might
Like,
cry too.
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to cry because so I was introduced to Elvira because my mom was obsessed with scary movies.
Yeah,
same.
And she made me dress up
What's
as
your favorite?
Elvira for I don't even know how many fucking Halloweens
The
in a row.
sexiest 11
Did she
year
give you
And
big
it's-
fake tits?
She tried to. She also tried to do that to me when she made me dress up as Carmen Miranda one time, and it
God.
wasn't even Halloween. She just wanted me to dress up as Carmen Miranda. So anyway, but I had this one Elvira dress, and I would wear it everywhere. And one time we were gonna go to Tops or something, and
Yes.
my dad
It's like
gets
a
pulled over.
supermarket.
Yeah, my dad got pulled over because there was something hanging off the back of the car. We had a giant Lincoln. It was a long story. But the cop just looks over, and I'm just this fat 10-year-old kid just
With big-
Oh, you
sitting
have
in, the
Elvira with
fucking-
you?
With giant fake
you're
tits.
good to
Yeah,
go.
no, I didn't wear the boobs because I
okay.
already had boobs. I'm kidding. And
She's
I'm just
not.
sitting, yeah, right. And I'm just sitting in the passenger
like
seat,
11.
just staring at the cop. And I'm
Yeah.
wearing tube socks with my fucking
Oh.
Elvira dress. And I'm just just going to the grocery store.
Mister.
It's like Jesus.
Yeah.
It's usually the the female driver of the car is the one that tries to seduce and not their child.
Yeah, no, I was definitely not trying to seduce him. I was just very pissed off that he was wasting my time to get to
my
town
God.
so I
You're
could
like,
get
come
my ice
on.
cream.
Oh yeah.
I want ice cream.
All right. I had
What's
a
up
card.
for our
a
tarot
card presented
card
itself to me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Present them.
The Father of Pentacles.
Oh, it's
At first,
another
I thought that
dad.
said father of potatoes.
Father of
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
You didn't know the house
I
of
am the father of potatoes.
We've got
house of potatoes.
A large buck
I'm
is
Scottish.
the photo on the card with rainbow antlers and a pentagram
Yeah.
I was about
between
to,
the horns.
So I just realized, like,
Large buck.
I was like, oh, it's a buck, and I was about to go. I was like, that's wrong animal. What?
Well, apparently the only noise deer make is just like.
yeah, they just go like.
The whole time we
That's
were
what they
camping,
do.
we were like kind of next to a swamp, and the entire
Snake.
the entire night, all you could hear was like frogs trying to fuck each other. So
Butter.
no, they were like, burr,
Ugh,
burr.
they getting down.
Have you guys seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yes.
Yeah, there's the. We were just talking about this earlier. There's the butter, and it's like a pat of butter, and he just goes butter.
Yeah. It's a really cute
Fucking-
movie.
It is.
That's really cute. All right,
Oh,
so
right.
what's the spacey face?
The dad of
12
tentacles.
12 of, that's one.
Dead
yeah.
of potatoes.
The dad of
Oh,
testicles.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
Okay, so Father of Pentacles, steady, entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial. The Father of Pentacles is a steady, gentle man. Upon first meeting, he can almost seem dull because of his extremely calm temperament. But underneath is an incredibly passionate man with priorities, the stability of his job, family, and home. He is entrepreneurial and diligent at work, a true pleasure to know. So he's just like a real good dad.
That just sounds good.
Good
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And that's,
So
that's
steady is something that stuck out to me. Go ahead. What
Yep.
were you about to say?
is that that's the entirety of the description?
That's essentially the entirety of the description. So the
Okay.
part that you can use to interpret, like based on your own intuition, is
Yeah.
steady and entrepreneurial. So part of me is kind of thinking there's this one card that I always pull on my other deck that is the ship. It's I always say this word wrong because I've only ever read it. Linormad deck. Linormad.
I have not heard
deck?
that word before.
Linormad
Yeah, I'm
deck.
not sure. Don't feel
It's
bad.
a smaller deck. It's like an older version of like a certain card game that kind of turned into a form of tarot. But the one I always pull is the ship, and it's usually because I'm asking a question because I'm being impatient and I want an answer right away. And the ship means slow and steady, and I always think of like steady as she goes. So when I see that,
Steady as she goes.
I think
We
of
were all
like
thinking it.
steady. I think like well pacing and the whole entrepreneurial thing. I mean, that's kind of like in a way what we're all doing like, right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
And
this is a new
yeah,
venture going
it's
on forth into.
it's all new, and I think it's that's how I interpret it in
Okay.
a nice fun
Very
way.
positive.
Do you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think that applies to your life, Steph?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Why
I'm
not?
like, want a new job. I want to move right now.
But
Nothing feels steady.
But maybe it's telling you to steady,
Right. Or that
Maybe I'm
things
unstable.
will become
Yeah.
all of
Hopefully
those
they
things.
will be.
steady
That'd
as
be
she
nice.
That's what I'm
goes.
looking for.
We would like-
Steady as she goes.
Yeah, we'd like to. Yeah, Steph would like to get out of her house, and
Yeah.
it seems we have. You have the ability to
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
most part. It's just this finding a place.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
with Amanda. It's amazing that you were able to find a spot.
So
Dude.
I found my
Shit
apartment.
just happened.
My
Yeah.
apartment was listed.
I'm so sorry.
It was it's fine. My apartment was listed 2 days prior to when I saw the listing, and it was so it's like but that experience and Amanda's experience of having it happen so fast and finding one that you actually like.
Yeah.
Most people, it can suck.
Dude, I feel
there's
like
other-
Totally
it,
suck.
it like takes forever, and
This-
I don't
yeah.
know. It just like the cards
bam,
landed
bam.
in the right place.
Yeah.
So nice.
yeah.
And we did
This-
not expect to even start looking, like physically looking
yeah.
to go look at houses until like
A
November.
couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, I
So nice.
asked PJ, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know, maybe by sometime in like I don't know 6 or 7 months."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember like a month ago, you guys were like, "Yeah, we're looking for like probably to buy in like a year."
That's so funny.
But you know
Yeah,
what?
we were saying like, okay, if we were out in the spring, that would be really great.
Yeah.
Like, okay, to be in a house by the spring and,
And
like, that's-
yeah,
so
and-
what?
But then we just met with the mortgage lady just to like, I don't know,
just kind of
Feel it
fucking
out.
around, really.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just kind of fucking around, and she's
your
like,
foot in the
"Well,
door."
let's
Yeah.
see, how much places would be. Give me a place you're looking at." So I gave her that place, and never actually like I guess, really serious about going to look at it.
Yeah.
And she like ran the
mean-
numbers. I'm like, fuck, we could afford that.
You know what I'm thinking, Steph? Like, sorry, going back to the card that fell out. So you have a whole lot going on right now, right? So what I'm honestly what I'm thinking is that it is telling you to slow down and steady yourself, because maybe there's something that you could potentially miss if you are allowing yourself to get surrounded by chaos.
That makes sense.
But bam.
I'm trying to think.
And it jumped right out at me. It was like,
well, it
first
might not
shuffle through.
happen yet, but if she grounds herself and kind of focuses and steadies herself, that maybe is what she needs to do in order to like have better focus.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
You guys ready to now? Can we talk about spooky stories?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes.
You guys want a high energy one? You want that cute little like the marimba one?
Oh, you choose.
I like the marimba.
Zoombinis. Y'all remember
shit.
Zoombinis?
No.
What?
But isn't this a
Amanda.
thumb piano?
Yeah.
Oh, the little
Yeah.
You can't hear
I
it
think
though.
it's an
cute.
African
'cause we
instrument.
talked all over it.
Moonbeanies?
Zoom
Zoombinis.
beanies.
Zoom beanies.
I don't know. Why don't we have Liz start this one?
Alrighty. So, little known fact about Liz, except it's not actually little known because one time I confused the shit out of Andrew by saying this. So I went to high school in Lake Placid.
What? I don't understand.
Who are you?
I thought you grew up in Kansas, you lying bitch. I'm kidding.
Steph's bumping the mic. She's so upset.
The house is
Because
bumping.
she's drunk. So yeah, I didn't grow up in Lake Placid, but I lived there for 3 years. And
Did you see Champy?
Did you see Lana Del Rey?
Oh no, I'm
you
thinking
ever
of.
see Champion?
I'm so stupid. You know what I was thinking of? There's a movie called Placid. That's
Yeah,
not
it's called Lake
Placid.
Placid.
okay,
Yes.
But it's
So,
big ass gators.
The
Yep.
hellacious life that I led up until the point where I finally fucking moved to Lake Placid was growing up in Kansas City and everybody being like, "You moving to Lake Placid? Yo, is that the place with the big ass fucking gators?" And it's like,
God.
no.
It's like yes, but not that one.
Yeah, and then we came to find out it's like there's two Lake Placids. There's Lake Placid, Florida, and then there's Lake Placid, New York.
Yeah.
New York. New York.
We ain't got the gators.
Gators.
we just got gas.
Environmentally, it's way too cold to sustain a lizard of that size.
Cold blooded. There's no place they'd be able to warm.
Technically, according to the mineral count of the water that it's in the limestone. Anyway,
Yeah,
Everyone's
fucking
having a
jabroni.
bad time.
you fucking loser. How about you learn about reptiles?
You dork.
Reptiles.
Reptiles.
Got your reptile right here.
Rectals.
Reptile dysfunction. Oh wow, you guys
Jesus
just
Christ.
blasted the fuck out of everything.
So his
Okay.
ears blew off.
So let me drop down some facts about Lake Placid right now.
Can you? All right. Say it and then stop. Like you know what I mean?
So let me drop down some facts about Lake Placid right now.
Oh,
Let's do it.
That's officially my favorite sound
Boom.
because I like boom
Booms.
booms.
I hope
I
it's
like-
not copyrighted.
My butt goes boom boom.
Boom.
So Lake Placid is 5.5 miles long and 2.5 miles wide. At its widest point. That was a 2%. Only
very personal.
Only about 30 or so of the houses around the lake belong to year-round residents. The rest are only occupied. The rest are only occupied in the summer. Take that away from him.
There's a-
Nope.
There are 3 major islands in the middle of the lake, and all the camps on the islands are
What?
seasonally
I didn't know that.
occupied.
Hmm.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
didn't know that?
people
I didn't know there were
love.
islands there.
Yeah, there is lands
Is
in
lands.
in that lake.
Oh.
Have any of you guys ever been on Lake Placid?
No.
No.
Yes.
I
have.
think so.
It is like hard to just get onto. There's not a whole lot of like public access to it unless you're like part of the marina and like all of that.
Well, I went ice skating on Lake
Fun.
Placid in the winter.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Okay.
Have you ever?
And they can like pull you around on that sled.
Wait,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
thinking of Mirror Lake or are you thinking of
Oh.
Lake Placid?
It's Mirror Lake.
Yeah. Okay. So
Never
Mirror
mind.
Lake. Mirror Lake is the one that's right in town. Lake
Yep,
Placid
that's
is
the
the one
one.
that's on the
Ugh.
other side. I've only been boating on Lake Placid maybe 3 times. I know of the place that they're talking about here, and that we actually went swimming in that area. But Lake Placid is spooky clear. Like you
Wow.
can see so far
I love
down,
that.
it's
Really?
kind of
Mhm.
terrifying.
That,
Yeah.
that used to be a big fear of mine.
Mirror Lake is the same way. You can see at least like 20 feet down. It's
Jeez.
nuts.
Whoa.
And it's gorgeous. I actually kind of appreciate it because I don't like swimming in murky water.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah,
to
murky
me.
water is
Like,
way
you don't
more
know what is
scary.
even in front
But
of you.
until you're like out in the middle of Lake Placid and you jump off a boat and you look down and you realize how fucking deep it is.
Yeah,
Actually,
That's
it's
kind
kinda
of where it
scary.
starts to freak you out. And these people experienced my absolute greatest fear.
Oh, shit.
So have
Did
any
they
of you
get
guys,
pulled underwater?
have
Oh,
any of you
stop
guys,
it.
have any of you guys ever heard of Lady of the Lake?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
actually,
So So the Lady of the Lake.
She's different from the Champlain Witch.
Yeah.
She's different from the Champlain
And
Witch.
there's another one, because I only know this because I was researching a whole bunch of local lore for a
Really?
photo.
A lot of water.
There's
series.
two Lady of the
Water.
Lakes or two Champlain Witches.
There's the
3 water bitches.
there is essentially.
So the truth behind the Lady of the Lake is it's actually based off of this woman.
Her name was Aquafina.
Copy and paste. So that is actually based off of a book written by a dude called Dance Hall.
His name is Dance Hall.
Yeah,
No,
his name is
fuck
Dance
you.
Hall. No, sorry. So the book is called Dance Hall. And okay,
That's the
got
guy's
it.
name.
Mabel Smith Douglas.
All right.
Got it. Anyway, so the Lady of the Lake is actually based off of a real life dead ass woman who they found in the lake. And her name was Mabel Smith. She disappeared while rowing on Lake Placid back on September 21st, 1930 motherfucking 3.
That's
Shit.
not that long ago.
She
Isn't that one of
was.
your guys' favorite numbers? 33. Is that you?
I like
33,
threes.
I'm 13.
So,
2.
yep. So Mabel was a successful educator, creating and serving as the first dean to the New Jersey College for Women at Rutgers. She was later named the college was later named Douglas College in her honor. So her name is Mabel Douglas, not Mabel Smith. Mabel Smith Douglas. She had a hyphen name. So her family was about to close camp in Onondaga for the season, which is one of the islands, and head back to New Jersey. And then this is the famous day that she went missing. So this is what fucking happened with Mabel's life, and this is why it gets kind of sad at one point.
God.
My shit got all fucked. So essentially what happened to Mabel is her husband just unexpectedly died. And less than a year later, her son ended up killing himself.
Oh.
And then within that exact same time period, she had a mental breakdown. So
Yeah,
her
Who wouldn't?
only remaining child, her daughter, was like, let's go up to the camp in Lake Placid. We'll have a little bit of respite. We can just like forget about this horrible ass fucking year that we both just had.
Cool
Is it a
down.
new moon?
And cool down, and we can like
get a new moon.
drink, and we can try to just like forget about what happened. So that day on September 21st, 1933, they decided to pack up the camp and head
Wait,
back to New Jersey.
And that's the day that it happened?
Yeah, that's the day this happened.
What year?
1933.
Oh my God. I think my story happened on September 21st,
No way.
1973.
Oh,
I'm so
my
serious.
God.
Can I hold on?
the
Pause the
hell?
episode. I'm looking.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's April 21st. All right.
You
We're
cuck.
cutting
Close
that all
enough.
out.
Okay.
Somebody call me a cuck.
Nope.
You fucking cuck.
Wasn't me.
Okay, so her and her daughter decided to get ready to leave camp, and last minute Mabel was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go out on the boat, and I'm just gonna like have a little row, and then afterwards I'm gonna collect some leaves to bring back to New Jersey." And her daughter was like, "Okay, peace, see you later," and she never came back. And they don't know what happened. She ended up going completely missing. They scoured everywhere. They looked on all of the trails. They looked on all of the other camps, trying to find Mabel. And they could never find her, or like they have no idea. She was
like,
literally
crazy?
vanished.
She was like,
She was
not well?
Yeah, she was recovering from
Okay.
mental anguish because
Yeah.
her husband fucking dropped
Yeah.
dead, and then
Seems
her
like
son killed
son,
himself.
yeah.
Understandably, it seems like mentally she was probably
she's
on her way.
probably
Yeah.
not good.
No, it wasn't good.
So it was the mom who went boating or the daughter?
Mabel, the mom.
mom.
The daughter was
Okay,
waiting for
got
her.
it.
Yeah.
Mabel was basically vanished into thin air. Eventually, her boat did appear on shore by a nearby camp, but she was completely gone
Wow.
until September 15th, 1963.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
30 years later?
30, almost to the day, off by 1 week. 30 years later,
Steph's getting scared.
Freaking
Mabel
out.
was found. Oh, it gets worse.
No.
How was she not decomposed and shit?
Was she probably
I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
So, scuba divers found Mabel's body on September 15th, 1963, in the depths of Lake Placid near Pulpit Rock. It's named that way because it looks like a clergyman could preach from the top of it. 2 scuba divers followed Pulpit Rock as it plunges straight down through the depths of the water, finding an old guide boat on a rock shelf. So, like, there's just a fucking boat sitting down there, and like,
Chilling out.
like, and then as they approached the bottom, 105 feet below the surface, they saw what they thought was a mannequin, but it was just
Ew,
like,
oh, I hate this.
yeah,
I'm picturing
like
it
it was
so
just
well.
some
Oh my
kind
God.
of. It's literally my worst fucking nightmare where you see a ghostly,
Like the hair
aura of a
flowing.
body.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can't do this.
Wow.
Oh, and it gets worse.
Oh,
is.
So they saw what they thought was a mannequin put there as a practical joke until it wasn't.
Oh, they touched
Do
it
you
with their
think they-
bare hands.
Oh, one of them grabbed its arm and it detached from the body. Then they realized it was human.
Jesus Christ. Do you think they thought it looked like a mannequin because
Well,
she was
preserved in
like,
a
yeah, she
cold
was just like
lake,
So
really,
what's,
yes.
really
what's
white.
wrong
Yeah.
is, so what happened is the outside of her body slowly turned into soap because the mineral.
I've seen this shit.
Yeah. So the
Oh.
the minerals in Lake Placid, along with the temperature, is actually what helped her body stay almost completely intact.
30 years later.
30
Wow.
fucking years later. So the chemical makeup on the water and the conditions were just so that the outer layers of the tissues of Mabel's body slowly started to turn into soap, giving her skin a hard, waxy white look that gave the
Wow.
divers the initial impression that she was made of plastic. She laid on her
Oh
right
my
side
God.
with her legs together in a crouching position.
What?
And she looked like she had just died 5 minutes ago. The divers noticed a rope tied around her neck, which was
Oh.
attached to an anchor.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, gets kind of worse.
I don't like
Jesus
this.
Christ.
So one of the divers was an Air Force Staff Sergeant, Richard Nixon.
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 I found a dead body.
This was fucking creepy.
It's turned into soap. Soap.
Neffin. I feel
Epinephrine.
uncomfortable saving this. Okay. Neffennegger.
Oh, yikes.
Yikes.
Can you spell it?
Niffenegger.
That's a rough
Yeah.
one.
It's a rough one. So he motioned for the other ones, an 18-year-old Jimmy Rogers, which is
Jimmy.
the most 1963 name
What's up, Jimmy
I've ever.
Rogers?
Come
Jimmy
on,
Rogers.
Jimmy boy.
So he told Jimmy, the fucking 18-year-old, to stay with the body as he returned. As he returned.
Fuck this. This
as
guy
he-
sucks.
Just
Jimmy was
wait.
next.
Just wait. As he returned to the surface where he intended to get a rope to mark the spot so that the police could find it. As Jimmy waited with the body in
no.
the deep, dark water, he grew disconcerted by the way Mabel looked like she could wake up at any second. He
Not
decided,
okay.
minus the fact that they just ripped her arm off.
Oh.
So
Did he bring the arm with him? I imagine
Well,
him being like,
so
there's
this
this
is-
dead body. Here's the arm.
So this is what
Here's
happened.
proof.
So he was sitting there waiting and waiting, and he literally lost his shit. He was like, "Okay, I can't do this anymore."
I couldn't hang
She's
on
gonna
to
she's gonna look at me, man.
But he did what I would not have done. He decided to bring her body to the
Stop.
surface himself. So,
Oh.
as he rose through the water with her, Mabel's face disintegrated before his eyes.
So it was a faceless, waxy.
And not only that,
can't.
but it slowly disintegrated, and he's probably looking at it
It's like,
as he's slowly rising back
Hugging
up,
this
and he's
body.
just seeing her face fucking melt away like that fucking part in fucking Indiana
Avengers?
Jones. No, in Indiana Jones
yeah,
when
where
the
the guy
Nazi's
melts.
face melts
Yeah.
off.
Or
yeah.
like
Oh,
Yeah.
at the end of Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. Oh, that
So,
too. That
okay,
part
let me
scared me when I was a kid.
clarify.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Boy, the young, the
18.
the
18-year-old.
sidekick of
Yeah.
the corporal or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it was, Richard Nixon. He was told to stay there, and then he got so creeped out that he's like, I can't stay here anymore. But instead of getting away from her because he was creeped out, he brought
a
the
deep
body
dive.
with her.
He was confused.
Did he
and-
lose his shit? Like, was
I
he?
think
Did
he
he was
was-
just disoriented? He
think
said
he-
they're 105 feet under.
Yeah,
You gotta-
105 feet under. So
Dude,
he
you're
was
not just
probably
gonna like chill out there for a couple hours in 63 while he drives to the
Yeah.
police station.
No, he
and-
wasn't going to drive. He was going to mark it with a rope so that they could go back and find
Yeah.
the body again. So as he rose up, she almost completely disintegrated.
Oh, so
Um,
he picked her.
Yeah, he tried to
Oh
carry
my
her.
God, that's
So
fucking
her
me up.
arm, her other hand, and her head all fell off in the process of trying to get her body out of the water.
Oh, this reminds me of
all
a
that
terrible
was
story.
all that was left by the time that they brought it to the funeral home was what resembled little more than a sculptor's rough clay form of an unfinished human statue.
Oh, that's
Wow.
So
It was
fucked
just
up.
Yeah.
a torso,
Yeah.
basically.
And that
Do you
was a direct quote off of a book called A Lady in the Lake, which is one of the mini books that was written about this, but like one of the two most famous books that was written about this.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It didn't take long for investigators to find out that Mabel was the only person to have disappeared on Lake Placid and to have never been found, which I thought was kind of crazy.
wow.
That's
Especially
that's a-
saying how clear you said it was.
Oh
right?
yeah, like so not only is she the only person to ever go missing, she's the only person to have never been found until 30 years
is
later when they did
weird.
actually
That's
find her.
nuts.
Yeah, it's because like it's just I think it's honestly because there's not a lot of access to Lake Placid, so there's probably not a lot of potential
Traffic,
for like
yeah.
people to just like fuck off and get lost there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Lake Placid isn't fucking huge either. Like it's hella deep, but
So how did they know it was her?
Because she was the only person to ever go missing.
They just assumed?
Yeah, and they just
They don't
assumed.
have like dental records.
You
No.
said it was the 70s.
Yeah, and
when
you know
they found
what's
her?
and you know what's also fucked up? She had nobody there to claim her or
What
anything.
her daughter? What happened to her
Did she
daughter?
die?
Her daughter fucking killed herself.
Oh my god.
Yep.
That is
So this
such a
is
terrible
absolutely steeped in tragedy.
Yeah.
Like when I was reading about this, first off, I read the book Dance Hall, which was completely fucking different than what the actual story is. So Dance Hall is an admittedly fictional tale based off of the original story of the Lady of the Lake by a guy named Bernard F. Connors, and that's where the murder comes from.
Oh no, my story is like actually totally true. So mine's like a totally different side story.
Wait, so somebody else got murdered in Lake Placid?
I don't think it was Lake Placid, but it was like in that general area.
Oh, okay. Well, Dance Hall is about a man who takes a woman out onto the boat, ties the anchor around her neck, and then throws her off because she was like worth a bunch of money or something. I read Dance Hall when I was in high school. And I remember liking it, but it wasn't like super great. And that came out in 1983.
Wow.
And then George Christian Ortloff is the one who wrote A Lady in the Lake. And he was actually attempting to tell the true story of Mabel Smith Douglas. In the end, he does note that there are several conflicting facts in the story that could lead people to draw varying conclusions about how Mabel ended up in the bottom of the lake, but he does definitely tend to lead towards suicide. Which, honestly, after reading everything that happened to her, I would totally think the same thing.
Unless the family was like fucking cursed or something.
The rope,
I think the family had to have been fucking cursed.
Something.
But here's another crazy thing. So the main part about Pulpit Rock is that it is like creepy. It's like spooky haunted. And people say that they see apparitions all over that section of the lake all the time. And then there's also like a myth about how like you hear a loon, but then the loon's call turns into a woman wailing.
Ooh.
And that was probably like one of my like favorite ones, is that like you hear like the but then it just turns into like and you're like, that's not the same.
That's not a
Poor
loon.
Mabel.
But what was also weird, and people who are into the ghost tales of this side and the ghost spottings in that area, is there were actually two men who also lost their lives there in 1923. So a little while before Mabel died. So like 10 years before Mabel drowned. So there have also been reports of people seeing like multiple apparitions on the top of the water. And that just makes me think that like swimming around in that area, think of this, from 1933 until 1963, there were people like boating around, swimming,
having a great 4th of
having a
July.
great time. And there was a dead fucking bitch in the bottom
Just
of the fucking lake.
marinating.
Dead fucking soap bitch.
Just hanging out, just getting ready to
Having a
freak out some
good
fucking scuba
Memorial
divers.
Day.
I want to take a second for anybody that maybe we glanced over it because it's something we're all familiar with. There's this weird chemical reaction that can happen to any. I think it'd be any kind of corpse where it will turn your skin into soap.
Yeah.
I don't fucking understand it because we have I
Like
think
soap, like Dove.
like soap
like
ass
like
soap.
the,
waxy.
like
'cause
lye, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
soap
Yeah.
is made out of like fatty fat.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like animal
Like in
fat,
Fight Club.
right? Yes.
Sorry.
So the same thing can happen to us, just like
Yeah.
we make it out of animals and stuff.
Yep.
So like that, and like there's, I remember my first experience with it. I was really young, and I was on the internet, and it wasn't. I don't remember where I saw it. It was some news article that it was like body found in. I think it was like a buried body in a graveyard. I don't know. There was like a giant flood or something, and it burst up,
Yeah.
and somebody found it, and the body turned completely into soap. And you're like, what the fuck? So I read about it.
Wow.
It's such a weird thing that can happen.
Dude, I've never heard of that.
Really?
It's insane.
Never.
But when
The
you're-
bogmen that they're finding, what was it, like all over northeastern Europe-y area.
What's that?
The bogmen, it's like, first off, it's like, oh, bog cheese, nice, because they actually keep cheese inside the bog, like in the moors. But they're also discovering bodies. And there's mummies that they are pulling out of the bog that are like perfectly preserved soap people, because like they just fall into the bog, they just fall into the swamp, and then they turn into soup.
Yes, Jesus Christ. Do you guys say, okay, all right, I have two things.
Do you think soap?
Do you think soap
Yes.
That story when Jimmy must have blew a gasket when he was down there.
I wonder if he's okay.
Jimmy is not okay.
Dude.
Jimmy's
Little
not
Jimmy.
okay.
Little Jimmy.
Yeah, I
Found a
cannot.
dead soap lady.
Yeah.
Picked
Dude,
her up.
I was just
Her
thinking
face
of
is
that.
all off. God. But yeah, okay. So he
Harmony.
blew a gasket, and I would have too.
I would've-
I would have lost
Poor
my fucking
kid.
mind.
What
You know
did,
what?
what did he tell his mom at the end of the day? Like,
Right?
I don't
18
know.
years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Found a
18 fucking
30-year-old
years
soap
old.
lady
I
in the
struggled.
lake.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So he must have blew a gasket, but when he picked her, I can't believe he picked her up.
I
That's
can't
so
believe he
fucked.
picked her up.
I wonder what he was thinking.
He must.
I
He
wouldn't have
must have
picked
been.
her. I would have just like kind of dragged her when she was hooked to a rope. You know, like
Yeah.
you drag
Some-
Yeah.
Or just
when
let
you
the
try
adults
and
handle
like
it.
Yeah.
walk your cat for the first time and you know they're not going to
drag
do
her.
it. They
I-
flop over and you just drag them. I
Yeah.
imagine that
Yeah.
was just like
No.
that's what I would have done. I would.
So he must have. He definitely. Think about it. He was over 100 feet underwater.
How
So
did
you
it
have.
make that far?
So that's 105. Yeah. So
105 feet.
that's. Think about how many gallons of water there is. You have pressure. Your mind is not the same. I don't know if
No.
that's dangerous levels, but probably.
Well, and not only
extended.
that, but like, okay, so I don't know. Have you guys ever been legitimately spooked? Not like jump scare spooked, but like you
Yes.
think you see
You
something,
feel it, yes.
and you're just
Yes.
like, yeah, it like goes from your eyeballs and then just kind of rackets down your
Yes.
entire body as
Okay.
the rest of you realizes what it is that your
Yup.
brain is trying to process.
Yeah.
So imagine swimming in a
Yeah.
scuba suit underneath that amount of water, and then your like
Anticipating her
homie tells you
looking at
he'll
you.
be
Yeah,
right
yeah,
back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you serious? Like, and then your friend is just like, oh yeah, hang on 1 second, I'm gonna go like up there. Like I would have been swimming down and been like, oh cool, look at that boat, and then like I would have seen the mannequin and been like, fucking bye.
Peace.
Like
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's fake or real. Like
I don't
I'm
know if
leaving.
I would have mentioned
I'm
it.
out.
I would have been like, "That's the scariest thing I've ever seen."
I would have
Yeah.
mentioned
But
it.
so when he picked her up and she dissolved as he was coming back up, that reminded me of this one time.
This one
my-
time
my-
picked
One
up
time I
a
picked
dead
up a
body.
dead
I was
body.
thinking of his dead body. We were watching my brother's and his girlfriend's at the time. They had a very small fish tank. Me and my mom were, and I think we changed the water, and I don't think it was the right water, so they all died. It's really unfortunate because specifically my brother's.
You can like
girlfriend
shock
really-
them.
Yeah, because you have
Yeah.
to like put some of their
Hopefully
water
she's-
in it
And
gradually.
we
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah,
you know
No,
what I mean?
some people don't.
That's a
So-
common mistake.
But my mom, this was kind of weird. Like she was too grossed out by it. She couldn't handle it. She felt very bad because she knew they
Yeah.
were important to my brother's girlfriend. So she had me dump them out.
Uh-huh.
But to do that, I had to use the little fish scoopy
Yeah.
thing. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like they used the net to clean it. So I don't even know if I told my mom this. So I put it. It was a really small tank. I put it on the floor in the bathroom next to the toilet. And I'm like 9.
Uh-huh.
And I used the little scooper and I started scooping them up, and it was fucked up, but like you know what I mean, whatever. They started to decompose and they snapped in half. And I had to scoop up. Like the same thing happened. To them.
Yeah.
It was fucking scary.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's
And I
gross,
was-
man.
So like, and like blood came out. It was really
What?
fucked. Like it was
I've
creepy.
never.
And
Every time
that's
I
why
have
you're
a
like
fish
you
died,
are.
I like scoop it out, and it's like fucking rigor mortis, and the fish has already set in. It's
Yeah.
like solid.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck happened.
You
I
might
really
maybe
don't
there's
know.
like some kind of crazy ass like chemical mix
Yeah,
up or
So
something.
that seems weird.
Potentially.
Normally
That's
they
nuts.
just like turn white, die,
Get hard.
they float. Yeah,
Yeah.
they get
They
hard. They're
bloat.
like half.
Yeah.
I literally like it was almost like they were jello, like it was floating in water. And they were just
Oh, something was
smashing
wrong.
apart. Yeah.
Oh no,
So
something
that
was
was
wrong.
fucked up. That's reminded me. But do you guys think? Put yourself. Now this one's a little bit crazier. If you died and you became soap, would you want your family to
To use
like
me? No.
Yeah. No. Oh my
No.
god.
No, I would not. Next story.
Holy shit, that's fucked up. But no, I was gonna say,
Sell me at
would
Lush
you?
Cosmetics.
Yeah, Christ. Honestly, if I'd be okay with going up, being preserved and like put up in a science museum. I think
Yeah,
it'd
it'd be
so
pretty
cool.
cool.
Dude,
But
like the Mutter Museum.
like, yeah. So I don't know what that is. You got to tell me about it.
It's
but,
in Philly. We'll come back to it.
would you want to have your funeral as like? Would you want them to put your soap body into a casket,
I mean,
or do you think just let's do?
no,
a-
I don't want to be put in a casket anyway.
if it's
No.
do you mean like open casket?
Yeah.
Okay, they wouldn't do that. If,
No.
if, you,
Yeah,
if you're
you
not
can't be like-
presentable, they
Yeah.
don't do
I mean,
it.
Steph's dad is a mortician.
Yes.
Yeah.
She would know.
I know these.
I know. I'm just. I don't know if you're in your last will and testament, if somehow there was a clause in there. Where
If
you're
it was like just you guys, you're like, guys, let them see me,
If I
guys.
happen to turn into soap, I don't know. It's really morbid, and I don't
If
know
I
if
turn into
this is just
soap.
me talking. Yeah, that's just
That's
me
like
talking.
saying if I
Samples.
died and
I'd
I
almost
said
wanna
in my
see it.
will, you guys could eat my flesh so you could see what human flesh takes.
That means you have to do
would you
it.
do it?
You
have
have
to do
to.
I would do it if you said
You try?
Yeah.
Me?
I would do it. If Andrew was like, I'm leaving my body to my friends.
But I really want
eat.
Eat,
tell
holy
me,
shit.
tell me through Ouija board if I taste like bacon.
tasted good,
Yeah, I would probably taste like cigarettes and butter.
But would you do it?
Butter.
Would you eat the flesh of your friend?
If they
I mean,
really,
if they
really
really
wanted
needed
me
me
to,
to.
I mean, cannibals do it.
I wouldn't
Give
do
me
it.
cannibals to it. Fuck
You
it.
wouldn't. You wouldn't do it.
No,
If your friend ate a friend, would you eat a friend too?
you would get mad cow disease. Well, it'd
No,
be
you
mad
don't.
human
That's
disease.
not a thing.
Not
Yes,
always.
it is.
If
No, it's not.
it is. If you eat enough.
No, mad cow disease and is an actual
not
bacteria
mad
that
cow
infects
disease.
people.
But
yeah,
like,
but it was contracted by eating like
No,
cow products,
no.
wasn't
Oh,
it?
gross.
no.
It's a bacteria that's in cow shit that when
Yeah.
cows eat other poorly processed cows in cheap ass cow food, it infects their brains because it's a bacteria that comes from your butthole.
Okay, but cows shouldn't eat cows and humans shouldn't
No,
eat humans.
cows
right?
should
Isn't
not
that
eat
bad for your
No,
brain?
but it's not bad for your brain.
There's
It's
no way
the
No,
it's
it
not.
totally
bacteria-
can fuck with you if you're like
But
eating.
mad cow disease is a bacteria
Okay, I'm
that
not
infects your brain.
saying
I'm
mad cow
hearing
disease.
No, but
you-
Andrew is, and I'm talking to him.
I'm hearing you defending cannibalism a lot. I don't know how deep I want to get into it.
Well, there's the thing called like wasting disease. Or no, that's the thing that, what is it called when you start to get the craving or whatever? And that's what they say that cannibalism.
What? You get a
has-
craving for humans?
Yeah,
I know
know,
what it's
you
called.
apparently start to, and that's how the Wendigo is created. It's a man who eats another man, and
Is
that
it
was
like-
that's
is it like
the Native
pica?
American. No, but I
I
bet
had
it
that when I
would
was
be.
pregnant. It was awful.
What?
I wanted to drink. You guys know what Fabuloso is? It's a floor
Yeah.
cleaner.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to drink it so badly.
That's
had
nuts.
Prater
Yep.
Willy when
What are
I
you
was
talking
born.
about?
Pica?
Yeah.
You
So when
just
you're
had
pregnant,
that?
your brain can do
Yeah.
fucked up
Crazy
shit.
shit.
So when I was working, I worked 10 days past my due date. Like up to my due date. Like I worked the day before I gave birth.
I worked on my duty
For probably 3 months at like the end of my pregnancy, all I wanted, like anytime I smelled that floor cleaner, I wanted to drink it so
What are you?
bad.
Are you
Nuts.
serious?
Yeah,
That's really scary.
absolutely. It smelled
Yeah.
like the most appetizing, like most
Have you
delicious
ever?
thing.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the TV show? It's like My
Strange
Sick-
Addiction.
Yeah, My
Yeah.
Strange
They
Addiction.
eat like walls. They eat
Dude,
like rocks.
when my sister and I
sand.
were little, we had this
You didn't do
disorder.
it, right?
I'm here today.
Right.
No, I didn't
Doesn't
do
mean
it.
you didn't try it.
No, I didn't try it.
Jeez.
So
I totally
Christ,
would
that's-
have. I've like told my coworkers. I
That's
was like, please
insane.
don't let me get around.
Don't let me
this.
drink
That's fucked up.
Fabuloso.
Yeah.
I wish you hadn't told me that.
Yeah, it's scary. I had to tell my doctor about it. They're
I mean,
like,
it
just stay
can't
away.
just it can't just develop out of nowhere.
No.
Like there's other things that are gonna happen to you. Like
Yeah.
like Andrew, you don't have to worry.
You're
not
fine.
gonna wake up and be like, I'm gonna eat that fucking light bulb.
No,
No,
I'm not
no.
scared it's gonna happen to me. I'm
Oh.
scared I'm gonna wake up to Steph drinking fucking
No.
booze.
It's fine
other,
now.
Other
Jesus.
shit. It's based
You grow
off
out
of
of
like,
it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
grow out of it. It's based off of like
Just a face.
No, it is. It can.
It was
it's
scary.
based off of like some kind of any sort of like trauma or anything that is heavily affecting you
Yup.
with, like within your life, and your brain just
I wanted it
backfires and
so
does something
bad.
fucking
Maybe,
stupid.
I don't know. Ashley and I had Prater Willy when we were young, and that's the actual name of it. Prater Willy, which is just like pica, but we were little kids that would just fucking eat anything. We would
Just to try it.
no, we just would eat anything. We just wanted to eat it. I guess we would eat the carpet,
I wonder
pull
if
it
that's,
up,
like,
eat the foam underneath it.
aversion.
Oh my! I'm
Like-
fucking.
Yeah, we would
terrified
eat. We, would,
right now.
we had lead
I-
poisoning twice because we would pick the paint off
Paint
the walls.
chips?
Yep, and eat it.
Oh
That's
my
what-
We
God.
ate everything.
So-
We took
Probably
each other's earrings out and
Yeah.
ate them.
Oh my god.
So that's what actually happened to me. I ate the entire base of a windowsill, all the paint.
We
I
ate our
chipped-
crib.
I ate all of the
Are we
paint.
okay, you guys?
No, I'm actually. So I got.
deleting- Join
I'm
us.
deleting
So-
this episode.
So I got lead poisoning, and
Oh my
I
God.
would like, and there's nothing I can do about it. They're like, oh, when she gets, and I distinctly remember the doctor saying this, like, oh, as she gets older, she might have some learning disabilities.
yeah, let's
God.
No, listen, I literally cannot. There's a reason why I have the L and R tattooed on my hands. I can't tell the difference between left and right.
Oh, Liz.
I am heavily dyslexic, and I can't spell. I have some words memorized, and that's. I'm not shitting you. That's it. Like I can verbalize just fine. I had a stutter, but I had to go through verbal therapy when I was in like second or third grade. I can't remember, to get rid of my stutter. But holy shit, like full blown. And I always remember thinking like, oh, well, the doctor says it's not really going to affect me until I get older. But it's like, fuck, man, I'm in my 30s now. Like, this is
It's
why I
time.
can't
I'm
do the
over it.
things.
Wow.
Like, and I just like, your brain just doesn't process things the way it's supposed to. But my sister had pica, hard fucking core.
Oh, what'd she
That
eat?
bitch fucking ate everything. She ate markers. She ate crayons.
Yeah,
she
detergents.
We ate it all.
she ate potting soil. She
Toilet
ate
paper.
I got this gold butterfly necklace with actual tiny diamonds in it that my mom got me when I was a
She
little
ate the
kid.
diamonds.
She fucking ate it.
She had
but
$1 million shits.
my mom was like, "Fuck that shit! I am tearing apart your poop until you pass that necklace."
Oh god damn.
My mom got that necklace back for me
Every
and then
single
rinsed it
diamond?
off, and then I never wore it again, but I still have it.
Oh, that's a great story.
And I'm like, this necklace passed through my sister.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah,
Andrew,
my mom was
what
like, nope.
strange things
Your
are wrong
mom
with you?
passed it on to you. Your sister
There's
Yeah.
like
passed through her.
You've never
the-
wanted to eat anything weird?
No, in the first house I lived in, there was like we had the paint chips, and there was a house that was there's some houses up on the hill that were built. So it's a prison city. There's a maximum security prison for anybody that doesn't know. And
Where my dad worked.
yeah.
Yep.
And essentially, like, they put the prison there, and then they needed housing for the
Yeah.
corrections officers and the people that work
Oh,
there.
such a creepy area.
So they just
It
started
is.
building it. And
It's
there's
kinda creepy.
And there's some parts of town that are just have those old ass buildings, and that was
yeah.
one of the first ones that I lived in when I was a kid. And the paint, especially, it was full of asbestos, and downstairs
yeah.
was super lead paint. And my mom, she was always like almost like threatening to kill me if
you do
she,
this.
Yeah,
Good
and
job.
You
I was
will
terrified.
die.
I was like, Mom, I have no desire to
She's
do
like,
that.
I'm
Maybe
just
she-
telling you.
Maybe she knew about pica. I don't know at the
probably.
Yeah,
time.
maybe. Or just knew that
Especially
like
in
little kids are
kids.
gonna fucking eat shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know why the fuck I was able to eat like as much of that paint as I did.
Yep.
But like, cause it was still like 86. It's not like my
Jesus.
mom was like
Yeah.
unaware. They knew that shit in the 80s.
Yeah.
But like, I don't fuck. I mean, my mom was like great, but she was definitely the one thing I've been told is that she was super hella fucking ditzy.
Oh my
and
gosh.
so like I can just picture her like, you know, hanging out, smoking a J, watching MTV, and I'm just like in my crib, just like yum, yum,
Munching.
yum, 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 yum,
I
yum.
put a battery in my mouth one time.
Oh,
I
did
I think
that.
everybody has
I
done
think
that
we've
to
all done
shock
that.
their tongue.
Yeah.
No, I
Oh,
put
I
the,
have
like,
never tried it.
I
I'm
wasn't
too
gonna.
scared.
I wasn't gonna bite it or swallow it.
No.
I was just like, put it in my mouth.
I put the full battery in my mouth thinking it was going to do that to me because I didn't know it was only 9 volts
Oh,
that
yeah,
did
you
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what a fucking roller coaster
Yeah.
that was.
So isn't that crazy? Fucking
Yeah.
Lady in the Lake,
That's
man.
gotta so of like. I gotta say that's gotta be the most sci-fi fucking ending to like what
Wow.
such a tragic story.
It is. It's super,
was
super
insane.
tragic.
So let's roll it all out. So like
So-
her husband died.
Her husband died.
Her son killed himself
Yep.
afterwards.
And then she had a actual mental breakdown and was in an institution for 1 year. And then when she got released, her and her daughter,
she gets with
like,
her daughter,
yeah,
who's,
let's
who's
get out of
equally
New
as
Jersey.
fucked because her dad and
Apparently.
brother.
Yeah, right. So, and not only that, but she's running a fucking college. She's the
Jesus
female
Christ.
dean of a
Oh
college of
shit! I
Rutgers,
forgot you
right?
said
Got
that.
that
Like,
on her
and that's
shoulder.
not
Right?
That's not a low stress job.
No. So then she goes up here and she's just like, you know what? I'm fucking sick of this shit. Says that she's going out to like go for a row and then collect leaves to bring back to New Jersey. Ties the fucking anchor around
Oh,
her
God.
neck, theoretically.
Well,
and
her
then
daughter's waiting for her on
while
shore.
her daughter's waiting
Oh,
for her,
no.
finishing up, cleaning up the house, getting ready to go back to New Jersey. And she
kill
just
herself.
fucking
Yeah.
tosses herself into the fucking lake.
Yeah,
And what
and then-
pose was she in?
She was like laying on her side, kind of like curled up.
like fetal.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
freezing to death down
Christ.
there. Yeah, she
Yeah.
probably froze before. Well, no.
Who
well,
knows?
No, it was
she
summer.
definitely-
Yeah.
But still cold
No,
enough.
it was
at
Yeah.
September.
100 feet.
It was
Oh,
September when
you're right.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, still, it's really far down. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, no
So then
matter
it's
what,
like,
the temperature in lower
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
lake in that area, it's fucking freezing.
Yeah.
so she
Ugh.
jumps off. I don't want to say she yeets
I was
herself
about to
off.
say she yeeted herself off the
Yeeted-
boat.
This poor
Yeeted.
lady.
Yeah.
She kills herself. The next thing that happened in the story is her daughter kills herself, grieving
Technically,
after
yeah.
all these people die. Fast forward 30 fucking years. I don't know when the daughter killed herself.
Yeah.
She's turned into a
Irish
fucking
Springs,
soap
bitch.
monster.
Yeah.
Jesus
Fucking
Christ.
30 years later. That's the
Wow.
craziest part
Perfectly
is that it was 30 fucking
I had a huge fear
years
of underwater
later.
things when I was a kid, so I'm really happy I didn't
Can
know
you
about
like,
this.
and that's
Love
the
it.
part that fucks me up the most. But yeah, that's a story of the Lady of the Lake. And then
God
there were
damn.
two
That
other
was
guys who
really
died, but
good.
nobody fucking cares about
Yeah.
them.
Wow.
Oh, and
yeah,
that's
that
it.
was crazy.
I really enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
One last tidbit, unrelated to the story. You mentioned your sister. I did message her, and a little while ago we talked about we had one of the synchronicities.
My
whatever it is.
sister?
Yes.
Yeah.
You messaged my sister?
I did.
I messaged her not
'Cause-
that long ago too.
Because I have a
Yeah, about the artwork.
yeah about that. Did you,
You guys
actually?
didn't
did
tell me
you?
that.
I just did it recently. Like I just got a message
Yeah,
back
I
from her
messaged her.
yesterday. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But I
Yeah.
messaged her as well, and I sent her a picture. I'm like, hey, this is gonna be really weird. We don't know each other, but like, did you fucking paint this? And she's like, oh yeah, it's just like an unfinished thing I did.
Oh my god.
I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
responded to her just yet, but that's still just so
The
fucking
small
crazy.
fucking world.
Yeah, be like,
Yeah.
hey,
He
your
wasn't
sister-
sure like what one it was, and I think like it would be hard for her to mentally remember.
Mm.
And
Oh sure, yeah. I'm sure
Maybe.
she has a lot of stuff that she's made, and
some of them she doesn't even recall.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
So like
Right.
I talked
The
about it, but she
creative
was probably
artist.
like, "Oh yeah, probably." Fine.
I like her
Uh,
art. It's very well done. I think it's cool.
She is a good artist.
She's great.
Yeah.
So So my feet are gonna have to get out of these little. Speaking of slothing off emotions of familial bullshit, I need to get this shit off my feet. So you guys want to take a break while I rinse this acid off my feet?
Let's take a break. All right, fuckers, we're back. Liz, how are your feet doing? That's how good they feel.
Feel like an angel.
That's the
Halo theme.
That's the sound of the dead skin ascending to heaven, and my new feet reborn.
Yes.
As the risen
Johnson's 316.
Yes, Johnson's and Johnson's 316.
Except the Korean version.
Yep.
So I don't know, did it work? Do your feet feel better? I've never done a foot release, whatever it's called.
They feel really weird right now.
Release.
They're like they're kind of like have a cooling sensation going on. I rinsed it all off. It was very watermelon citrus, which is what the smell was supposed to be.
I didn't smell it.
But I guess over the next couple of days, all the skin's gonna fall off of my feet.
Wow.
Shed.
Yep, I'm
It's all gonna fall right off.
I'm gonna
Disgusting.
shed me skin
Shed me skin, become something new.
and become something new. I'm just
A beautiful
gonna do
butterfly.
it. I'm doing it for the new moon.
You had the
man.
chance to
Yeah.
change your feet.
So
Would ya?
we got one more. We got one more scary story. Eh?
I started as a spud and I became Potatoes O'Brien. We do have one more spooky fucking story
Oh,
that
hell
I came up with myself.
You just
I,
pulled it
Yeah.
out.
I made this one entirely up by myself. Somebody did suggest that to me. They're like, "You should just fucking make one up." Was that you?
No.
No. Somebody was just like, "Just make one up."
I did that while I was camping.
Yeah, you made up a. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To Riley, to your
Yeah.
little
Rile
boy.
up Riley.
Yeah, we all made our own stories. And he was like,
Was
"You
he
want
like the time I went to Pizza Palace?
Actually, the one story he told, he was like, so there was a mom and a stepdad, and they had these two evil sticks, and they were orange on one end and white on the other, and they would light the white end and smoke them, and then they would die."
What the fuck?
Okay.
Yep. Because
What the fuck?
PJ and I smoke, and we're like, "Riley, please stop."
Oh,
And
I
they
thought
would
that was like
die.
super symbolic or something.
No,
I got
he
really
was
freaked
like,
out.
I was like,
is that-
"Riley, are you telling a story about how we
Oh.
shouldn't smoke cigarettes?" And he was like,
Oh, that's so.
Yeah.
I used to do that with my mom too.
Oh, I
her
would
scary
have punched you
stories?
in the face.
The story doesn't have an happy
So
ending.
it's like, wow, I win shittiest parent of the
that
year
doesn't
award.
make you a shitty
No,
parent. That makes you have a child that loves you
That
very
cares.
much.
Oh, sure.
That means you're a good parent.
Jay's sister, so she has two daughters, my nieces.
Daughters?
I don't know why that just suddenly happened.
daughters.
Um,
And she's got two fucking daughters.
new moon, new feet, new accent.
Yes.
So Jay's parents are heavy fucking smokers, and
They still
Erica
are?
knows. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Erica knows that I'm a smoker as well, and Jay used to be a smoker, and it is an explicit rule that when they are upstate, you do not mention anything about how cigarettes are bad for you and you shouldn't smoke, because Jay's mom will go the fuck off as
What?
if she's like
defending herself.
oh yeah, well she just doesn't want to hear it. She's like,
Yeah.
she's been smoking since she was like 12 years old. She's like fucking 63.
That's the generation.
She doesn't need
Yeah.
some like 9-year-old kid telling her that smoking's bad. She's like, yeah, no fucking shit. Sit the fuck down.
Yeah, I've been
Eat your
around.
s'more and shut up.
A lot of my older family, they've been smoking since they were like
Yep.
14.
Oh yeah,
'cause
and
they
that's
were really old.
and that's the last thing you want to do is tell somebody like that, like, you know,
Yeah.
smoking's bad for you.
That's like
it's
every
fine.
time I
They
go to
must
the
have heard it.
doctors, they're just like, well, you really should quit smoking. It's not good for you. And every time I go, what?
Yeah.
That's
Are you
what-
serious?
That's what I did to my doctor when she told me I was fat and I need to stop smoking. I was like, what? And she like looked like she was gonna throw up, and I'm
As-
like, I'm kidding, I know.
As anti-smoking as I am, I still believe like it's not good
Like,
for you.
yeah,
Leave
I
them alone.
fucking
Leave
know,
them-
dude.
Like
Yeah.
no one is not aware of it.
Yeah.
So that ties right into my spooky story
I
because
lost my lighter.
there's the haunted cigarette.
Oh my God.
Dude, there's no worse feeling than when I walk down to my car after work and like I go to like touch my pocket to get my lighter, and if I don't feel it right away, I almost
Flip your car.
Literally, I'm almost immediately just in the parking lot. And I'm just like,
I totally.
and then it's
feel
there,
that.
but it was just like under my fat, under my thing.
It's like when I make dinner for half an hour, sit down, and I forgot a fucking fork.
Oh, that's the
Andrew,
oh.
it's 3 feet
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It's very close.
I would still flip the table. I'd be
But it's
pissed.
just mentally.
Just use your paws.
Yeah.
You're that
See,
desperate.
when you get
Alright.
married, you can have your significant other get
get
it
it
for
for
you.
you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Your
PJ,
child.
fork.
I don't know. Jay and I have been together for almost 8 years, and he still won't do that for me.
It's like, get it yourself. You
Jesus.
But if he's legally contracted to, maybe.
All right, so I'm gonna start telling my story about the haunted cigarette fork monster.
Oh,
The
no.
story
I
takes
heard
place.
this one already. It sucks, you guys. Let me tell
It's a
you.
very scary ending. The story takes place in the smaller town of Dover, Massachusetts in 19.
That's where my
Smaller
family's
than,
from.
Smaller
Really?
than what?
No.
Oh,
Just kidding.
I was like, what the fuck?
Just
How'd that
kidding,
not come up?
just
You say
kidding.
smaller town?
It's a smaller town.
They're from Massachusetts.
It's
but-
smaller.
Yeah, it's a smaller town.
Smaller than a small town.
Little
Smaller. With just around 5,000 people.
Wow,
Uh,
that is
that is
actually
that's
really
yeah.
small.
That's a
And I
tiny
actually
ass
I made sure I was time accurate. So in 1977 they had about 5,000. Now they're up to 6 or 7.
Wow.
So they're growing. Let's hear it from Dover.
Yeah, Dover.
What's funny about it's about a 15-mile southwest, 15 miles southwest of Boston. So it's kind of like I don't know, like the first suburb outside of Boston. It's
Right.
a little
Oh, okay.
bit quieter, not as many people. Actually, a really funny statistic I heard about it is that upwards of 75% of the city's total budget has been allocated to snow removal.
Wow.
Like their yearly entire budget, 75.
I mean,
So
dude, it
paying
gets
for the
fucking
gas.
There was
Pounded.
there was
Yeah.
that one year. So I worked for Charter. They were based out of Worcester, Massachusetts. They
Worcester,
got
bud.
Worcester. Like, dude, come down on a Thursday. Fucking, they were based off of Worcester, and they
Meet my
they got-
daughters.
Yeah, come meet my. I got beautiful daughters in Worcester.
You're gonna marry
There's a huge heroin epidemic.
It's ridiculous.
But they got 6.5 feet of snow in one night.
But
Wow.
Taller
Yeah.
than you.
Pretty
That
soon
is
I'm going to
taller
have
than
a
me.
driveway to shovel.
My old manager
Yeah.
was like, I couldn't even open my door.
couldn't even fucking see outside.
Stop the fucking
Jesus.
windows.
So in addition to that, it's the birthplace of a few notable people. There was one lady I didn't know her name now, but she was like a child actress that was on some like Broadway stuff of like bigger things, and there's a couple little people that are like that and from different walks of life. But it is far more well known for being the birthplace of the Dover Demon.
Yeah. Double
Where's
D.
the boom for that?
Imagine there was a
Slide whistle.
It's April 21st at 10:30 p.m.
Ooh, it's
In a
the
group.
day after 420. They're fucking still high as balls.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a group of 17-year-olds.
Oh, right.
Oh, is
Okay.
Jimmy Rogers in there?
Gonged out of their fucking minds.
It's Bill, Mike, and Andy. Those are their real names. I didn't take down
Those
their.
your brothers' names?
That's-
And you? Yeah.
That's the weird part. So aside from my brother Matt, yeah, that's
You
I have
did
a brother,
make this one up.
I have a brother Bill, a brother Mike, and I've been.
And
called
you're
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah.
Damn.
They were driving along on the aptly named Farm Street.
That's where the farms are.
For four,
Hey, look, cows.
what do we name this?
It's actually where the mall is.
Oh.
Fucked it all up. Actually, from this point on, in my head, I'm just gonna imagine that these characters are me and my brothers.
Okay.
It makes it a lot
You're
more fun
welcome.
for me.
Me too.
So Bill, the driver of the Volkswagen, spots a stone wall on the left side of the road.
Spots a stoned wall.
Spots he was
Man, look at that wall.
he's like,
Dude,
he's
that
like,
wall is
Set.
so high.
Okay, I'm not going to interrupt you. I
How
promise.
could-
Am
how
I
could you-
high?
How could you get over it? Whoa. Look at my hands. So he spots a stone wall on the left side of the road, and there's a little critter crawling around on top of it. He sees it's crawling about,
Hustling,
but
bustling.
thinking it's like
Hustling,
hustling, bustling. He
bustling.
thinks it's like a cat or a dog or something. But as his headlights shone onto the wall as he passes by it, he realized that what he sees was no creature from this earth. The unknown monster looked up at Mike as he zoomed by. Its menacing, lidless, glowing orange eyes pierce into Mike's soul, and his heart skips a beat. The creature's big watermelon head, covered in rough, peachy gray skin, is somehow held up by its scrawny, pencil-thin neck, leading to a small, cramped torso with
Wow.
4 long, skinny limbs protruding
Ew.
from it. A lot of the stories describe it as like it's like a gray
Right.
alien,
Yeah.
but kind of like,
But like
more
short, like cat size?
almost like it was a little bit
Hyena
smaller,
body.
and yeah, it's
Like a,
more like
It's like
almost
the pugs of grays.
yeah. Imagine like how a squirrel's like kind of hunched
Yeah.
up. He's more
Yeah.
like that, not a squirrel size, but just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Fortunately for Mike, nobody else in the car saw. So he was
course
like,
not.
you guys fucking please have seen that, and then nobody did.
Really, he was like, "Do you guys just see that?"
Because there's like a monster.
No.
Every-
it's nothing.
everybody else in the car was like, "What?"
So I guess after that, when he got home, he was really shooken up, and he told his parents, and they didn't really mention how they received it, but he sketched it out, and it was just like, well, fuck, So the story could easily be shrugged off as like a one-time trick of the light or like a young man's eyes just betraying him. It was 10:30. He's driving around with his friends. It was the day after 420. I don't know if the 420 was 420 in
Blazed out of his fucking
77.
mind.
I think
Oh
it
my
was.
God.
Was it already?
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
earlier than that.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe it was blazed out of his mind, still high as fuck from yesterday, and he's seeing these monsters and shit. So it could have been really one of those throwaway stories that didn't really have much to it. If it had been the only sighting of the monstrosity. A 15-year-old John was leaving his house, his girlfriend's home, at midnight on that same night, a couple hours later. Unfortunately, John didn't have a sick Volkswagen like Mike and crew.
Loser.
That total nerd had to walk all the way home on foot like an idiot. But he didn't mind it too much, though. It was worth it to spend time with his gal.
Oh.
Half an hour into his walk, which they said it was about half an hour into his walk, and he had walked about a mile. That motherfucker's walking real slow. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
none
right.
of us are Olympic
He's
athletes.
probably
in here.
also blazed out of his mind.
Yeah.
Stumbling
same
and
night.
fumbling.
Or he thought it was 45 minutes. He was like,
Yeah,
dude,
he's
it's
like,
like
fuck.
45 minutes.
6
I'm
days.
walking forever.
Road keeps stretching.
So he sees somebody coming towards him on the opposite side of the street, and he quickly identifies it as a local friend that he knows lives on that same street. They refer to the person as M.G. Bouchard, but I couldn't find the name, the first name, what the actual MG stands for. So let's make up like a dumb fake name just so it's easy to remember him
Mark
by.
Green.
How about Kian? Yeah, how about Kian Bouchard?
Okay.
So
That's an easy name to remember.
yeah, it's just a weird one I just came up with.
All right.
So John yelled to Kian. He's like, "Hey, loser!" And there's no response. So the two kept on the path towards each other, and he just thought, okay, maybe whatever. He's having an off night. Maybe he doesn't want to hang out. It was kind of late anyway, and maybe it's somebody else. But when it really got spicy is when
They started making out.
Wow.
But, the person that was coming towards John, they stopped in their tracks.
Ugh.
He was kind of confused by this behavior, and he yells out again. He's like, who is that over there? He's like, okay, what is this? What's going on? So after a second where they're just kind of staring each other down, he takes one step to kind of get a better look at the shadowy figure when it darts into the nearby gully.
No.
Do you guys know what a gully is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking know what a gully is. It's like a Merriam-Webster told me that it's like a channeled out, like it's like there used to be like a stream there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So it's not like a big like ravine, but it's just like
It's kind of like a ditch.
Yeah, I was going to
ditch,
say like a
kinda,
bigger
yeah.
ditch.
But that was just like on the side of the road. Somehow, not scared or concerned at all for his safety, John followed the creature down the embankment, and he manages to catch a sight of it through the dark moonlight. The glowing eyes, the watermelon body, the long pipe-like arms and small body are peering John down. Its pupilless, lava-like eyes tracing John's every movement. He feels a fear he's never experienced before and decides to flee. He reported that he walked fast away from the creature, which I don't know. I guess that's not my go-to thing when I'm terrified for my life. I don't like, oh my god, and then just
You're speed walking.
I would I think I would try to sneak because don't they say if it's like a rabid dog, don't run because that'll
Yeah,
prompt them
maybe.
to run.
That's
So
a good
I'd be
point.
like, don't make sudden movement. It's
Yeah.
gonna come after
Yeah.
me.
Right.
One time, Jay and I saw a mama bear and
Yeah.
her two cubs in the woods, and Jay was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Don't run.
You
We're
need
just
to be
going to
calm.
slowly turn around,
away.
and we're going to walk away."
just make sure it's not
Yep.
following you.
Yeah, well, she had her baby, so it's not like she was going to chase us down. And it was a
Yeah.
black bear, and they actually tend to abandon their young if they get scared enough. So
Really?
yeah,
You just gotta scare the shit out of it.
they're
and
kind of
it's
shit
like,
moms.
It's like, sorry, baby, I'm gone.
Yeah, peace. Good luck.
Fortunately,
yeah.
there was nothing to fear for when John finds himself at the intersection of Farm Street that my brothers were at earlier. A couple passing by in their car, they saw him on the side of the road. He looked distressed, so they picked him up and killed him. Because Jesus Christ, kids in the 70s just willingly got into strangers' cars, and it was no big deal.
Yep.
But no, he got in the car, and he got in their car. I guess he kind of knew them, and they drove him home. But still, in the 70s, motherfuckers just got in
Yeah.
cars, and
People
it was no big deal.
hitchhike
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, and like
That's why serial killers kind of had a heyday in
yeah.
the 70s.
Yeah, it was
it's
great.
not even hard.
Yeah,
not even worth it. Just like
hard.
drive
Just
around,
picking them off, like
yeah.
shooting fish in a barrel.
So the question still stands: was this some sort of? So there's a third account on the Wikipedia that said that there was a girl named Abby that saw it on the same night, but I couldn't find anything aside from on that Wikipedia that was just a quick blurb that had
Abby saw this.
Abby also saw it.
Abby was
And
here.
Abby
Who
was
the
there.
fuck's Abby?
And it just in the credits just said Abby. So was it an escaped experiment, an alien creature? Something was there on Farm Street that night in the 1970 whatever, and we may never really know what it was.
I wonder if it was like a cat
wow.
with mange.
The
Maybe
giant
Catboy.
ass watermelon tumor head.
Yeah,
I guess
like
when
giant ass head.
when things are described, so the pictures. Imagine just a hunched over, like I described before. The artist illustrations are just like a kind of hunched over, more animalistic gray with orange glowing eyes, like the same size, the really big pupilless eyes. So I don't know. I think there's a disconnect because specifically the stories that I've told is like the Flatwoods monster. That thing had giant red or orange, like some sort of warm colored eyes. Yeah.
Oh, that was Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise
so it's like
jar lid.
so when people are seeing these scary things, they're freaking out, especially when they have giant eyes like that.
Yeah.
In my mind, you like to think of them as being like the size of like a mayonnaise jar. You know, they're
Yeah.
like fucking huge.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot scarier. But in reality, they're probably smaller.
They're probably a lot
So
smaller.
Yeah, just
this
bigger than
one-
ours.
Yeah, this one
So
was passed
eerie.
off. A lot of people were saying it was like it was late at night. They're
Mhm.
driving by. Even for this, I don't know. It's just the thing that gives it credence is that, or that makes it hold its weight, is that there was multiple sightings from unrelated kids
Same night,
Yeah.
on the
right?
same night.
Yeah.
Why would they all come for? You know what? And it was I don't remember the specifics of it, but they were all separately reported, and they were like, "Wait a minute, you saw like it's
Yeah.
like I heard that Jimmy saw this, you know," and then they put it all together.
Mhm.
Maybe Jimmy's a bad name to use for this. Jimmy is not part of this. He's dealing with his soap lady.
Poor Jimmy.
But I'm thinking about it, and it's like, so maybe it was smaller eyes. They like to rationalize that, yeah, it could have been just a creature. Maybe it was there's the thing where some like bears and stuff they can be born hairless.
Yeah.
That's a deformity they
Yeah.
can have. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And if it was reflecting in the headlights or whatever, it
Yeah.
could be reflective, fucking scary ass light. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, if it was a cat that could have had like mange, or maybe one of those Sphinx cats,
Yeah.
they don't really
Which
have
are the
big.
cutest.
Yeah, they are adorable, but they don't really have like big heads, but they
Yeah.
have massive fucking ears.
Yes.
So if you're flying by and you're already stoned out of your, I'm kidding. And so like in cats' eyes, they can reflect off of a car headlight potentially.
Yeah. Totally.
And that would give them big glowing looking eyes. So if like you haven't seen an animal like this before, I can understand seeing it and being like, the fuck. And so like maybe somebody's cat got loose and it didn't have like hair anymore or something.
Yeah, or maybe got in a fight because they can. Like, I know it sounds
Yep.
really silly,
Yeah,
but
it's
like
crazy.
you can find tufts of fur. Like if a cat
Oh,
gets in a
yeah.
fight,
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh my
especially
God.
like like a lot of cats that
Fuck
are
up a
prone to
cat.
shedding.
Oh yeah.
I think
My
it's
cat sheds so much.
So
so
like
it's fucking
There's hair
Steph.
everywhere.
so
My
I'm
cat's pure white.
but another
Oh,
thing,
man.
so this is in Massachusetts.
Yes.
So I mean that's close enough to some of the areas where like a lot of these cryptids are super popular.
Yeah, totally.
And I know there's a couple other New England cryptids that
Jersey Devil.
I was just talking about Jersey Devil today.
Yeah.
I thought you guys should cover it.
yeah, we'll get there.
So like what I think about is, so there is the theory that and it's a theory based off of lore, when quote the veil is thin, and it's the idea where things can pass in and out of different realms because of like it's thin enough that people can like pierce through it and like get through it, right? So I kind of think about like, what if these areas are with the mysterious booms, it's when potential like interdimensional activity is happening. So like, what if this little bastard was existing in some like crazy ass world, accidentally like got like fucking
Yeeted.
yeeted through
Into the ravine.
into the gully.
I guess into the gully.
And
in this regard, yeah.
and he was like, or it was wandering around being like,
Like, what the fuck am I doing here?
And like, you know, like these kids are seeing it, they're like, ah, and
And
it's
he's like, ah!
you know, like what if that's like these, and then it died. But like,
Yeah.
what if that's how
Some
like these
bear
things are?
ate it, yeah.
a bear ate it, got hit by a car.
That's so much
And then
more.
someone's
that's
like,
so
that was an
interesting.
ugly fucking cat. But it's like
Insulted before he dies.
there's like so many of these sightings of these cryptids that I'm wondering like, what if? And they're still trying to figure out how like wormholes exist, and
Yeah.
without me completely spiraling
Totally.
into some sort of crazy ass subject. But like, what if it is potential that maybe these cryptids that we're seeing are in fact beings, and maybe they're not physically within our realm right now, but they are being projected and they're potentially just as confused as we are.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Because there's people who have also experienced getting sent or yeeted into a different dimension, and they experience like a whole other fucking trip.
That's so scary.
Do you
And
think the Bigfoot and the Jersey Devil have a podcast about humans?
I saw it, man. I know what I saw.
totally, they're like hanging out right now, like in like an apartment just like ours.
Yeah.
and
Just
just
sweating their asses off.
I fucking saw this fucking thing.
They had these tiny eyes.
No, they don't. They don't go. "Ooh," they go like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's a really interesting thought. Because
There's a whole lot about it.
now, Amanda was kind enough to lend us her Amazon Prime account,
Yep.
and Steph and I we watched.
yeah.
We checked out some of the Small Town Monsters
Oh, I love it.
documentaries.
It
was so
we watched,
fun.
Yeah.
We watched the Flatwoods Monster and we watched the Abear Road one
Yeah.
with the Bigfoot. Both really well made, so Abear Road was one of the first ones that they made with the Bigfoot of the Beast of Whitehall, I should say. And then the Flatwoods Monster was more recent. And just sampling those two. The one from one of the first ones they made to one of the more recent, like, oh my god, they've improved so
And
much.
then, like,
yeah, they have.
Boggy
Yeah.
Creek was
Yeah,
right
I
in the
can't
middle,
wait.
I think.
I can't wait to watch more of them, honestly.
Boggy
really
Creek was
fun.
on my recently
Yeah, I think
watch.
We might have
the,
clicked it.
I think the
Unless you
one
watched
that
it without
they
me.
I didn't watch it.
I think they did one on Mothman too. That was really
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so,
They
yeah.
had there's a current Mothman that they have out, and there's another one coming out next
Okay,
year,
cool.
or at the end of this
Yeah.
year. That's a different Mothman,
Yeah.
or another more to it. But one thing that I forgot to mention. Okay.
Thank
fucking God.
Okay.
So one thing that was weird about with the Flatwoods Monster is that like shortly after, this was so fucking scary, and I can't believe I didn't know about this. But in the documentary, her name was Catherine May, the mother of
Yeah.
the boys that
Yes.
saw it, that was there. So she saw the beast and everything. She received a letter that she kept quiet about for like her entire life from the government, dismissing what they saw and like heavily suggesting she drop it.
Yeah, they like
Really?
threatened her, right?
Yes. And I think she refrained from talking
She's
about
scared.
it. She did what they'd said.
Yeah.
She went against their wishes in a sense that she brought it to the police, but I think she did that prior. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were just
right.
like, don't fuck around anymore. And she's like, you know what? Maybe I won't.
Yeah.
Just in case. So, but I think it was like I don't know if it was a deathbed confessional, but like they had the letter still.
Yep.
Oh,
Wow.
That's some crazy, scary shit. So I
That
wonder.
is.
It makes me wonder if like Liz, you mentioned the BPRD. That's the or the P. What is it? It's the
Oh,
The,
the Society
no,
of
no, no,
Oh
I'm
the
talking about
BPRD,
from-
the comic book.
from Hellboy.
Like Hellboy, yeah.
I don't remember this. It's the Paranormal Research
Yeah,
Department.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So what they do, if you're familiar with the comic Hellboy, so he's a monster that came from hell, they say, and what he does is he's him and his team. When there is a break-in of the magic world, fantasy world,
Mm-hmm.
into real life, which is usually these crazy usually like Wendigo is a character and things like that.
Yeah, like what the cryptids are doing.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
The BPRD is responsible for finding them, either killing them or
Yeah.
bringing them to justice and
Yeah.
taking stuff like that. It makes me wonder if like maybe that's not too far out of reality. Maybe
Right.
we do have like a team that does that, and part of it is like
Their names are
There's-
Mulder and Scully.
yeah. So
right.
maybe like when this shit happens, it gets to the government or whoever it's supposed to really quick.
Yeah.
They get rid of the thing very quickly, so
Yeah.
it never happens again. You know what I mean? And then it's just they tell everyone to be quiet.
There's a couple sides to the whole
And let me clarify.
no, go for it.
I think that's cool, and I'm not gonna fuck with that if that's the truth.
Oh
if
my
if
God.
they're listening to this, I think that's awesome. I'll let you do your thing. I'm not gonna try to expose it.
Also, if you want to hire me, you can find me
Oh
on
my God,
LinkedIn.
please! I need to know. Have you guys seen like the end of Cabin in the Woods?
Yes.
Holy
so
shit! Not gonna
good.
spoil it here.
No,
but so
that is
good.
so easily one of my favorite
newer
movies.
movie?
It is-
Definitely.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
ish.
Past
I
Like
don't
in
think
the
I
past
watched
10
it.
like,
years.
Yeah, within the past
Wow.
10 years.
That might be my favorite horror movie. I
It's
never
so
watched
good.
it.
It's
but,
so
like,
like
so
I don't
good.
know. It's really
It's
good.
a total Joss Whedon.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Easily.
Yeah. Well, I could talk
Liz.
about that
Yeah.
for hours. What
Oh
were
my
you
God.
gonna say, Liz?
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. I keep stretching it out.
What was I gonna say?
We were talking about BPRD and if that was a real thing.
And you said find you on
okay.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
So
so,
maybe- or
I
maybe
want them
they-
to find me on LinkedIn. in.
Yes.
So you guys know about the actual theory of Men in Black, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's two sides to the Men in Black. There's one which is actually almost more cryptid, where they're slightly more paranormal and kind of spooky. There's an account of how they're mannequin looking. They have like super red lips and they're very stark.
Who are the Men in Black?
The Men in Black. And they show up after paranormal events or something like, UFO of some kind. But then there's the other side of the Men in Black as being like the men who show up in the Buick who are like, hey, by the way, you're never going to talk about this again or we'll kill your sister.
family.
Like, we'll kill your family basically. Or, you might go missing. Yeah. And there's accounts of like people who were super vocal and like whistleblowers about like, various like UFO things that happen and all of a sudden they just go missing. Or they trip out on massive amounts of drugs and then all of a sudden they're crazy.
Yep.
Lots of parts of, and I'll do like a story about it, but going through of like these people who were really vocal and then all of a sudden are gone. Yeah. And then there's other people who are super vocal who are celebrities like Tom DeLonge and Dan Aykroyd.
Wow, yeah, those guys.
But the thing is like they're super fucking rich. They're super in like, Hollywood, but they are also like, I don't know about you guys, but for the most part, they're portrayed in the media as being complete like whack jobs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So unless like you're super into ufology and like the paranormal, like you just think that like, wow, Dan Aykroyd kind of lost his shit after Ghostbusters. Yeah. And that's happening. And that's happening on purpose, maybe, because they'd rather have you think that he's a crack job than thinking that,
That's some scary territory. And if that is the truth, like I have no intentions of getting on their bad side. I think this silly little show that we do here, if it takes off in any sort of way, I just want to go on record as saying that we're not trying to meddle in that kind of territory.
Oh my God.
Wait, so we're not going to Area 51?
Well, we will be
on
in
the
September.
door.
I want to Naruto run.
Because I think that's a really legitimately, potentially real. I would believe in that. If something came out and told me that was real, I'd say like that probably is.
Not surprised.
And if that is the case, I will leave it alone. That's some scary shit. I don't want to fiddle with it.
Yeah,
that's some real scary shit.
Real. I don't know.
I'll talk about Soap Lady and I'll talk about maybe seeing an alien, but like, fuck that.
No,
that's too scary for me.
I'm the total opposite. I was like, come to my fucking house. Let's do this. Like, I want to see you. I don't care if I die right afterwards, just
really,
so I can be like,
wanting to know.
Yes. And then have them shoot me. Like, I don't care. But at the same time, like, what the fuck are we ever going to discover that they're going to be like, we got to take them down?
Yeah. Us ourselves,
compared to like all the other like crazy ass shit that's like, been going on. Like,
there's a lot of like shadow government stuff. Like it's very frightening to me. So I stay away from researching it. Because I'm just like, probably there's something going on, but I don't want to be caught up in it.
And you can spiral down like the wrong fucking rabbit hole and then just completely turn yourself into a crazy person.
Yes,
like,
precisely.
Because like it's true. There's a ton of smoke and mirrors, and there's a lot of purposeful disinformation out there where they want you to start studying something that's wrong, and you're gonna think that it's right, but it's only there to detract you from the actual truth. And it's just like I don't know. I have a whole lot of thoughts on that.
Very likely, there's grand deceptions like that are put in place, and
totally.
I am willing to accept them happily if it means that if that's their agenda.
Yeah.
And if it keeps me safe, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with that.
Nobody's safe.
So
I do not want to disturb that.
Nah. So do we have any other like kind of final thoughts on anything within the episode?
Wow, that was a lot. We covered a lot of ground.
We covered a lot
really
of ground.
Nice.
Soap ladies.
I just want to know how your feet are doing.
Tiny demons. My feet feel very refreshed.
Yeah.
And it's also weird because I haven't worn socks in months at this point, and
Ew,
so
I
wearing
hate
socks
socks
right now is kind of crazy.
That was the first time I've heard about that. That was very interesting. The soap lady. I think we should do
Liz's feet.
Oh yeah, your feet. The story of your feet was very inspiring to me.
First time I've ever heard of feet.
I guess first time. Crazy. Feet? So I might try to maybe on the next maybe my next story I'll try to look into like weird, just like because there's just so much to unpack in that story. There's so much to it. So I really appreciate the depth of that story. So like I don't know, really and especially having that weird crazy thing happen to her body after she died.
Isn't that nuts? Mm-hmm. And I had no idea it was that in depth.
It gets worse.
Yeah, it gets so much worse. I didn't know that she had turned to soap. I thought she had just frozen.
Crazy.
Like I thought she was just so
even
cold.
better.
But the fact that her skin had actually turned to soap is like absolutely insane.
Disintegrated.
And that is my actual true nightmare, to be swimming and just see
a dead body,
like a white dead body, like coming towards me, like that. Like I scare myself like that all the time, where I'd be like looking out the window and all of a sudden I just picture a face like coming towards the glass, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? help.
I've had fears
I'll
like
be
that.
swimming and I like look down in the water and I just picture a hand like coming
Even
up
in a
and-
pool,
yeah.
it's like only if you're alone does it start to be
Oh, yeah.
I
weird.
can't be alone in a pool.
I
Yeah,
used to,
it's
like, fear that
weird.
there was a
Not to-
shark in
Yes,
there.
the invisible
Be like,
shark.
if I go underwater and open my eyes, a shark's gonna come
Yep.
at me.
Oh yeah, no.
Every time.
Not to
Every
get
in
us-
my
time.
backyard.
Not to set us off on dreams again, like the end of last fucking episode. But when I was a kid, I had this horrible fucking nightmare that I can remember perfectly. It was my aunt's pool, and I loved going there. It was such a happy place. But in my dream, I was going there, and I was pumped. I'm going to the fucking pool. Chained along the entire inner perimeter of the pool, there must have been 30 of them. It was great white sharks. It was a little cartoony. They had a dog leash
Freaking
on
laser
them.
beams.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They had like a
Freaking
dog leash on
laser.
them with like a leather strip that just it was only a couple feet long, so they were all just like trying to get out of the fucking pool, and I jumped in the
Rat
pool.
king of
I jumped in
sharks.
the rat king of sharks. Yeah.
See,
and since then, it's just like I can't be being alone in a pool. If I allow myself to be spooked, I'm like, okay, I'm out.
I will get spooked to this day, and I am 30 years old.
See, I won't be scared if I'm in a pool alone. I won't be scared of what's in the pool because I can very clearly like
You can
see
see all
around
that
me.
shit,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I would feel vulnerable as fuck if somebody like came out of the bushes and like had a knife. That would freak me out. And
What do
I
you do? You're
also
in a pool. Then what if they have a
What
gun?
do I do? Like how am I like
In a
what-
pool,
yeah.
what are they gonna do? I'm
It's
just gonna
gonna-
keep swimming around in a circle.
They're gonna fucking jump
They
into the
can't-
pool and try
yeah.
to stab you. But that's like how
Then
I feel.
I'm getting out.
Because it's gonna take you like a couple seconds to climb up.
It's
As
hard to get out
you're
of a pool.
trying to climb up out of the ladder or some shit, they're just gonna walk around the fucking pool and then just stab you with a fucking face.
Dude, I have
like
thrown
this.
my body outside of the pool so many
On the
times.
edge?
Like I've
Yep.
been like, I got this.
Yup.
No, I can't.
But invisible shark,
Yeah.
no way. It's
Jesus
over.
Christ. All right.
All right.
Did you hear that?
I love it so much.
That
That's
might.
awesome.
I may have used that in post before, but I don't think I've ever played
I
it.
think-
live.
so
I think you
I
sent
think
it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. So this has been an awesome episode so far.
Yeah.
And as usual,
So
we're
fun.
going to round it off with the listener story.
Yeah, but today we have a special guest.
And Steph, we already knew was the special guest in the beginning, and that's where I was getting. So we've got Steph here. You've got a spooky story.
I do.
You've
So
got a friend in me.
I feel like I'm very. Thank you, Andrew.
Got a friend.
Oh
in me.
my God.
There's a snake in my boot.
Everybody.
I don't know the words. All right.
Okay, so I feel like I'm very susceptible to the spirit world. I'm not like I don't dive deep into it. I just am not a skeptic. Whatever happens, I believe is what is real. I don't like try to find logic behind things that
I mean, that's totally how I am.
I
too.
don't like dig deeper. Like if I feel something happened, I think it happened. So, this is a story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down.
Oh my God.
Is when I lived at home. I think I was 8 years old. And I have two sisters. Each of them, I'm the middle kid, so I have a little sister and an older sister, and we would often have sleepovers in the same room, typically my older sister's room. So I was 8, and my little sister was 6, and my older sister was 10. My little sister had passed out on the bed, and my older sister and I had laid on the floor in her room. And I remember being on my stomach playing my Game Boy Color with the little extension light, the spirally one.
What game are you
Oh
playing?
yeah, probably Pokemon.
Probably Pokemon.
I have a see-through
Hamtaro.
purple one.
Oh, Hamtaro. Anyway, and then my older sister was laying on her back reading a book with a book light. Door was wide open. So her bedroom was all the way at the end of the hall on the right. And my parents never slept in the same bed. So my mom was sleeping on the couch. And it was in the middle of the night. We weren't supposed to be awake. And my older sister just sprung up. And it scared me. I wasn't paying attention. I was just playing on my Game Boy. I was a little baby.
Yeah.
And I said, what's wrong? Are you okay? She's like, was Mom just in here?
What?
And I said, no, what are you talking about? She's like, Mom was just in here. Mom was just in here. We're going to get in trouble. And I was like, she wasn't in here. I was laying on my stomach. I was like facing the door. I was like, she wasn't in here. She's like, I need to go out of this room right now. And I was like, what's wrong? Are you okay? So I followed her out into the living room. At first, I thought she was like sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen her like this.
Oh yeah.
We walked out and she like stopped me. She did like the mom arm, like in the car. She like put
Yeah.
her arm in front of me.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And she's like, Mom's not wearing a white nightgown. And I was like, Mom doesn't wear nightgowns. And she's like, somebody was in my room above my head wearing a white nightgown.
Oh my God.
And she was looking at my mom sleeping on the couch like an angel. And she's like, I can't sleep. So we stayed up all night long. It scared the shit out of me.
Wow.
Like,
Ew.
Oh man,
That's really
follow up.
You were 8.
I was little.
and
This is like
she
my
was-
first
and That was your
paranormal.
little sister.
My older sister did
Oh,
this.
thank God. Okay.
Well,
I guess that's scarier.
the next day, mind you, my little sister was asleep this whole time.
Okay. Yeah.
The next day, we were in the living room. I again was on my Game Boy. My mom was a smoker also from the age of 12.
Yeah.
But she always smoked outside.
Yeah.
My little sister was sitting, I don't know what she was doing. I think she was also playing a Game Boy. She goes, is Mom smoking in here? I was like, no, Mom's not even like, Mom's down the hall or something. She's like, there's like so much smoke in front of my eyes right now.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, it's like a cloud. Like, do you not see this? And I was like, what? She was little. She was 6 years old.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no, I don't see anything. She goes, oh, it's gone. I don't
The
know what
next
that
day?
was. The next morning.
Whoa.
She was asleep that whole time.
Whoa.
Wow, that's really
So
giving me
yeah,
chills.
yeah,
That's,
that was it.
Oh my God. I just read last night. There is a woman who was at because I was reading about everything that happened in Lake Placid.
Yeah.
There was a woman who was at some sort of Christmas celebration at this place called like the Stagecoach or something. Or it might have been the Great Lodge in Lake Placid on the lake. There was a white cloud next to a Christmas tree the entire time.
Yep, it's like
and
a
nobody else could see it, but she kept staring at it, and she was trying to tell her mom, like, Mom, there's a giant thing
and
of
like
smoke.
kids are more susceptible to that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I fully
I'm sorry,
believe.
was this a video?
No, it was she was like recounting a story about like haunted stuff that had happened in Lake Placid. And she was at the Lake Placid Lodge. I think it was like a Christmas party, and she kept trying to tell her mom like there's a giant there's like a puff of smoke next to the Christmas
That's what
tree.
it was.
And her mom, nobody else could see it, and they thought she was just like being a little shit. And she was trying to tell them, and she's like she followed it as like the mist like rotated around the tree, and then just eventually
Wow. Yep.
disappeared.
Fuck this! You guys are giving me so many goosebumps.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
There's another story, but we'll save that
save
for
that
next
for
time.
that's so
my
nuts.
little sister. This is like really quick side note. Well, sort of side note. Has to do with sisters. So my little sister she actually did used to sleepwalk, but it was so fucking scary, you guys. She would get up out of bed, sleepwalk, and what she would do is lean over and stand like a couple inches from your face,
Fuck, are you
eyes
serious?
closed.
I would knock
So
her the
I would
fuck out.
wake up and Courtney would be like
Breathing
2
on
inches
you?
from my face,
Oh my
eyes
God.
closed.
I would have fucking
I would
decked her.
knock her out.
You're
And-
not supposed to not wake him up.
No,
right?
No.
it could be violent.
I would just
Oh,
reactive
so
punch. I don't
fucking
care.
Oh, yeah.
And so one time,
I don't know why
Courtney.
I'll fight
these
anybody.
stories are hitting me so hard.
So,
oh my God.
so I wake up. Courtney's like 2 inches from my face, like leaned over me. You know what I'm saying? In my bed, and I was like, Courtney, and she just like slowly stands
Stop.
up, turns, and walks out the door.
Oh my,
Oh my
God.
God.
I'll never forget it. My
Just-
life.
it
I was
was
so
sweet.
fucking
How-
scared.
No
Checking
thanks.
on you.
How old were you?
Dude, I was
Well,
like
you're
a
at home.
I was like a teenager. There's
Yeah.
a 7-year difference between us. She was small.
So she was just this creepy ass little ginger bitch walking
Yep.
into your fucking bed. No thanks.
Hi,
Yep.
sissy.
And she would just and I woke up dead ass sleep and there she was, like eyes
You felt
closed.
somebody
I would've-
watching
Yep.
you. Yeah.
Yep.
Nope. I would have fucking no.
Oh, God.
I would have.
Can't.
Like-
People can't jump. Like, don't ever jump in front of me or like try to spook me or try to tickle me. I will accidentally throw a punch.
I will throw
You just
up.
don't do it well.
I can't
I
help
just
it.
scream as loud as I can if somebody tries to tickle me.
Ugh, no.
Just like
Ugh.
bloody murder scream, not like laughing scream.
Yikes.
I'll just scream really
My-
loud.
My cousin used to sleepwalk, and
Ugh.
I slept
On-
walk
on a-
once.
on a
I tried to
serious-
pee outside in the middle of winter.
that's funny you say that. He did. Sometimes he woke up in the middle of the street at 3 a.m.
yeah. I
Oh
tried to go
that
outside.
my god.
No,
Other
thank you.
times he would just pee down the stairs.
Yeah, it's a lot of different ones.
They're like, "What are you doing?" And he's out.
pee.
It's not his
Go
fault.
pee.
You know what I mean?
I always wish
Courtney
I had,
never peed or
I,
anything.
I wish I had the problem of sleepwalking, so I could just like do
It's
fucked up
hilarious.
shit and just use it as an
Do you ever
excuse.
see
I was
Step Brothers?
sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
so scary.
sleepwalking. I don't know. I was sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Jay. So
That would
when-
wake me. I'd wait. I don't know.
I couldn't do it.
If I start moving, I wake up.
People hate me when they wake me up because I'm one of those people who like I'll be dead asleep and then someone's just like Liz and I'm like yep okay
That's what PJ does.
yeah,
I'm like,
I'm the
we talked
longest
about
sleeper.
that. Yeah, I will. I'm just
Yeah.
immediately ready to
Awake.
fucking go. Like
Yeah.
I am ready. Let's do this.
I'm like, hey, PJ. He's like, yes.
Yeah, it's like here we go.
Oh, that's scary to me
when
too.
Jay and I first got together, he told me that he used to get night terrors and would start screaming.
Oh yeah. That happens
And,
to a close friend of mine.
So
All
we've
ours.
been together for 8 years, and it had never happened
Oh no.
up until about 2 months ago.
Really?
But
Oh no.
so what happened was so like the first like year with me and him are together, I'm like waiting for it to happen. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
he says he screams in his sleep. It's gonna happen. Is it gonna happen tonight? And then eventually I just forgot about it, right?
Oh, that's the worst.
2 months ago, I'm not even asleep. I'm like kind of like reading in bed, and I just hear him go,
Oh no.
Oh man, was I yelling? And I'm like, no, you weren't.
He's like, I lost my voice. Like I can't speak.
Sorry, that was true. But I was like,
Was that
no.
So he thought he had night terrors.
He thought he had night terrors, and
Where he
he thought
screamed.
he was screaming in his dreams.
Oh, but he's
And
Yeah.
it's
in
being
reality.
yeah, but in
Like a
reality,
puppy.
all he's doing is going. And I'm like, dude, you were barely making any noise. And he's like, that's weird because in my dream I felt like I was screaming as loud as I possibly could. I'm like,
Wow.
well, yeah, that's dream theory. Like that's
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, you're fine.
When I was-
He was making everybody.
I felt
think
so
it's
bad
so
for him.
dramatic.
He was-
the episode's running long, but you guys ever have the dreams where you're trying to scream and you can't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
fuck
yeah, I've had like
that.
completely
Well, no,
silent
I've had
dreams.
the where you're trying to run.
Yes,
and you can't.
can't.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, why can't I run faster?
I've just had that where I'm trying to scream because there's a scary thing that I'm saying and seeing, and I know screaming will save me.
Yeah.
And I can't. And then
Oh,
there's ones
God.
where I try to fight back
and you
I
can't punch.
I can't.
Yeah.
I have no power.
No
This is the
punching
worst.
whatsoever.
Jesus.
Well, this has been a nice nightmare.
That was
fueled
really good.
episode.
Yeah.
There's a lot in that.
Right,
fucking episode.
right about 10 o'clock, and I'm gonna go home and have dinner, and then
Yep.
hopefully go to bed.
Oh,
Take
yeah.
a shit.
So this was awesome. Thank you so much, Steph.
You're welcome. It was
for
so
sitting
fun.
in
My
this
pleasure. My
episode
favorite
with us.
podcast.
Super excited. And let's see here. What else we got coming down the pipe? We don't know. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to
hopefully
touch
we're
that.
I'm gonna tell a
I'm not
story
gonna
about a
scratch.
Dybbuk.
Oh, we got the Dybbuk
Yeah.
next week.
Yep.
So stick around for a Dybbuk torturing Post Malone.
And how Liz's
Yeah.
feet are.
Oh yeah.
Can you make a club mix of this?
No.
Doof, 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 doof.
Boof.
Drop the bass.